Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. We're today we're discussing um I think it went away. We're discussing are black Americans aware of their enemies? Very interesting topic. We're going to go deep into that. But our scholarship for today is coming from Dr. Claude Anderson's Black Power, White Wealth. Hold on one second, y'all. Trying to make sure the stage, everything's okay with the stage. Okay, there it is. I see. I see. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So I'm breaking out a new book today. Well, it's an old book that I don't really use that often. I use Claude Anderson's canon very often, but I really don't use Black Power White Wealth. Hey,
The
Wani.
problem was that when I was in the room, all I heard was the music, so I couldn't hear you talking. I could see you talking though.
Oh wow, yeah, you had to go and come back.
Yeah.
Got you. Got you. Got you. So we're gonna bust out Black Power White Wealth, which is a kind of a um not necessarily an easy read. Dr. Claude Anderson is his books are very he simplifies things kind of like Dr. Welsing, but this is more one of his more complicated books, although it's not that complicated. But we're going to look at strategies of oppression, and one major strategy fits right into the title: Are Black Americans aware of their enemies? One major strategy of oppression to foundational Black Americans is gaslighting. Um, and you know what? Let me be real. Let me not cut us any slack. Gullibility. Um, I don't know if it's so much gullibility of just the need. We're really good people, and we want to see the good in everybody. That's been our downfall. The late great Dr. John Henry Clark said the African brought the black man brought the white to the European to the dinner table when he became the meal. That's been our story, and that would be a very humble, noble thing if we weren't so hard on each other. Like I, where we lose grace with me is we got all this smoke for each other. I see it on the jobs, on all the jobs I've worked. You got so much smoke for each other, but you cut everybody else slack. Well, one of the main strategies of oppression has been gaslighting. I don't know if it was Tariq Nasheed. I forgot. I don't want to steal anybody's quote, but somebody was saying the other day on Spaces that um, other ethnic groups survive solely off the back of black people. And if foundational black Americans were just say, hold on one second, and just shut it down and stop supporting other ethnic groups, they would fucking starve to death. I mean, we're going all up in that today. So, Wani, are Black Americans aware of our enemies?
I don't think so. I don't. I know that whenever I show the quotes of immigrants that came here and the statements that they made, people seem shocked. They really believed in the black and brown, and politically, they simply have said they want nothing to do with us, that they're not people of color, that they're white. And this is their leadership speaking. And so when they ran into a problem and they got chummy with the Black Panthers and they became the Brown Panthers, that's when someone like me comes into the picture. That this is around the time when I was born, and I just assumed that, Latinos were just like Brown Panthers. They had their own group and that they were aligned with us, and that was because we were helping them with their problem. I think the guy's name was Cesar Chavez. We were helping them with their issues. Um, Working here in the unfair treatment, but they historically hated our guts and didn't like us just like all the other groups. And we're just latching on to that one event that we did an outreach on and got a good response. We're reaching out to people, getting one response that's good out of all the bad responses. Like Malcolm X got bad responses when he went to Africa and they told him, we don't have time to deal with the Afro American problem. So we keep reaching out We get one good response and a flurry of uh, people not wanting to link up or help, and we just hang on to that for 50 years talking about black and brown. It makes no sense.
Right, right, exactly. Well, Dr. Anderson says, quote, no other racial or ethnic group was forcibly separated from their indigenous culture and country. Now, this is our country. However, we were separated from our indigenous culture. We don't know what it was. You know what I'm saying? Plus, we were remixed and re-amalgamated. And I think that was the fucking point. The point was to take away what we knew and then mix up our looks with a dash of European here, a dash of European there, so we would not have a culture. People without it. That was a. I'm not saying we don't have a culture. I'm saying that was a plan. That shit backfired. But the plan was to make us a group of people that the Dutch, not the Dutch, the Portuguese and Spanish had the plan down packed. They were going to call us Necro. Now, Dr. Delbert Blair said it was Necro. Necro means dead. Um, Over time, Dr. Delbert Blair argues that it was misunderstood and it became Negro, which is black. But that's neither one of them is the point. The point is either Necro or Negro is a name that's not associated with a land-based identity. Let's look at what Dr. Anderson said. No other racial or ethnic group was forcibly separated from their indigenous culture. He says country as well. Culture is the most important thing. So when you separate somebody from a culture and you say, um, like in Roots, you're Toby, you're forced to adhere to somebody else's culture. So on an intellectual level, you become a slave, right? And that is the dangerous thing about this delineation movement. We are delineating and we are assuming our culture because we have a culture. And we're saying, you know what? This is our culture, deal with it. This is who we are, and we're sticking together. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the first step in reacquiring power. Indy Left Biz, holla at us.
Yeah, what's happening, Professor and beautiful co-host, Miss Wani Spots, and peace to everybody else in the room. Um, I just wanted to speak. I saw that title; it was interesting. I just wanted to answer that with a question. Really, so are Black Americans aware of their enemies or other groups aware? So I just want to know if everybody was aware of what Mr. Luther Campbell said now that Trump won. He said you know, he hoped that black people get lynched, like he's not quote unquote flat black too. Like the shit ain't gonna happen to him too. Um and also the second question, are other groups aware? I think they are aware, like we're really not their enemy, but they see us. Some of them, a lot of them see us as that. And just for example, I want to say, like, when you look at these uh Latino or South America, whatever you want to call them, people from South America and Mexico, whatever, like I noticed that, you know, a lot of them are doing a lot of these jobs or whatever, like they get contracts to do stuff now. But a lot of times, black contractors will go hire some of them to do work, but they ain't never gonna hire you though. They ain't gonna never add no black people to their team. They not sharing no contracts. We just say, look, I got this contract. Won't you go help? Let me subcontract some of this work to you. No, they don't do that. Like it's a Chinese restaurant in my town, like a buffet restaurant. They ain't got nothing but Mexican waiters and cooks in there. Don't know black people work in there. So they kind of anti-black too. Like I just see it. Like I question that shit one day. Like why you ain't got not one black waiter, not one black cook. Like what made the Mexicans better than us or the Latino people? Like they try to act like they ain't understand what I was saying and shit. I was like, but you can speak in English when it's time for me to pay my money though, or whatever. But okay, but I'm just saying, like I think these other groups are very aware. of treating us like we're their enemy, but they know that I ain't gonna say white folks kind of well not white folks, but real racist white folks that want to get them out of this country are really their enemy, but they want to assimilate to whiteness so bad that they'll overlook that. And that's that Latino group that kind of voted Trump, or a huge part of that group. I wouldn't say all, because I don't want to generalize, because some of them may have voted for other reasons, but just like some black people. But I'm just saying, I just want to throw that out there.
Wait, you covered a lot of stuff. What did you say before?
Oh yeah, I'm sitting up here talking to myself through a mute.
I knew
I,
something
I,
was wrong.
yeah, brother. I was saying yes. And what I was saying through mute was, Dr. Claude Anderson would agree with you, Indy Left Biz, in his chapter that says blacks and ethnic immigrants compete for resources. Dr. Anderson says, quote, each time in history, either before or after a war, when the American economy was expanding and could have offered material economic benefits to blacks, a new influx of immigrants or refugees arrived to fill the void and further exile blacks from the fruitful participation in the national life, according to historian Dan Lacey. So, basically that confirms what you said. Ethnic groups have always come here and viewed us as the food, you know what I'm saying, to block us from and that fits right into the title, brother. Immigrants have come over here and viewed us as the target to feed off of, to get our resources, to block us away, to fucking take the gas stations off the corner in our neighborhood, for Christ's sake. I've lived all across this country, my friend. My grandmother, I feel like I grew up in two places, Birmingham and DC. My grandmother was in God rest her soul, was in Southeast DC, Washington DC, Benning Road all day. And I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, and all across the country, it's the same old story, same old song. Every neighborhood, every black neighborhood, the we don't own the fucking gas stations. You know what I'm saying? We used to live in Rochester, New York. We don't own the gas stations on Hudson Avenue. You know what I'm saying? In Harlem, we didn't own the fucking corner stores in Harlem when I lived in New York City. You know what I'm saying? I'm in Atlanta right now. Do you think we own a gas station in Atlanta? Please, somebody tell me one so I can shop there. You know what I'm saying? Well, the point is, immigrants take it over, and that would be easily checked if we were aware of our enemies. But the baby boomers kind of had this attitude of, "Oh, that man's nice. Don't worry about him. He's nice." You don't know how many baby boomer aunties I watch
Mm-hmm.
go into the Korean beauty supply shop to buy stuff from people that can't fucking stand them, who again view us as the enemy. Texas, what's on your mind?
Hey, how y'all doing? It's been a minute. I was in the room last night and I was telling them, we had some Latinos in there because we also have Black Latinos and Afro Latinos, and so I was telling them like the history of it, like the Civil Rights Movement, the Hard Sellers Act. This is our my grandma and mom fought in the Civil Rights Movement so that other people can come here because, white people didn't want to let if you was they wanted to keep this a white country, but because of the civil rights movement, we started to let people from what they consider black country, black what they could people from what they consider black countries like South America, they started to let them in, because of what our ancestors did, So we're gonna have to reach out to our Latino brothers and sisters, and we're gonna have to explain to them because I thought they already knew this. I really thought I was thinking they already knew this. So we're gonna have to reach out to them, and we have to tell them, and I explain to them the reason why you have to vote Democrat is because we're still dealing with racism, and
Wait. You have
Hold on,
to.
I'm so confused.
Hold on.
Hold on, what are you like? Therese said, "What is this dude talking about?"
You have a lot of flags. What's going on?
um, that's
I,
so what.
I don't know if you following
That's an
us.
easy question. You have a lot of flags.
Yeah,
What's
answer
going
that
on?
flag question, like for real.
Oh yeah, the flag. Oh, that's
Uh huh.
because the LGBT
Mhm.
community, and so those flags
Mhm.
is
Now,
from.
are you sure you're in the right room?
Oh, maybe I'm not. I cause you.
Yeah,
You're
you made a
not,
wrong turn, my brother.
Okay,
because
all right.
we're not voting for Democrats no matter what.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah. I thought I'm in the wrong room. All right.
All right, peace out.
You're in the wrong political party. Yeah. Talk about a wrong turn. You need to, this time we gonna vote Democrat. No, we're not. I'm not ever gonna do that. I wouldn't vote Democrat with a dog's ass.
Ever.
Understand? Because I know my dog could definitely vote under the Democrat plan. It doesn't have an ID, right?
He so can.
You
Hey,
don't need
hey,
an
since,
ID.
since old boy defiled the air, let me clear it with Dr. Anderson. Dr. Anderson said Woodrow Wilson encouraged the rigid maintenance of Jim Crow segregation in every department of the federal government. In offices that traditionally hired blacks, the jobs were given to deserving white Democrats. Scores of blacks were summarily fired. Blacks were not allowed to compete economically. Throughout the South, abuse escalated. Lynching skyrocketed. Blacks, as well as their crops, were burned, their animal stocks poisoned, and kerosene doused in their cotton. The little power of voice that blacks had was stripped from them, and all sorts of schemes kept them from voting and having their cries of pain heard. While black supporters were being killed and abused, President Wilson failed to issue a single word in their defense. Woodrow Wilson was a Democrat. That's the Democratic Party for you. The Democratic Party has never been aligned with black people. I don't know what the hell that dude was talking about. Matter of fact, I'm neither Democrat nor Republican. However, there was a time when the Republican Party was ride or die with blacks. You know what I'm saying? There was a time under the leadership of Ulysses S. Grant, but there never was a time where Democrats were aligned with us. The only time that would there was a quasi alignment was under John F. Kennedy, but there were other things kind of in play with JFK.
Every time they get
Boss,
one, they shoot them. Every time
right?
somebody tries to do something fair, they either run them out of town on a rail, like they did after the Reconstruction, or they get killed.
Mm-hmm. Boss lady, educate us.
Thank you, Professor. Hey, Wani. Hello to the room. So the question of the room is: Are Black Americans aware of their enemies? I would say yes. It's a lot of crazy things going on in crazy times. Can I read an article that I just came across so you can understand where I'm heading with my talking views? So ADOS.org, they recently posted this article on their page, and I read: Although our justice claim for reparation is sacred to ADOS, which is American descendants of slavery, we are fiercely committed to advocating for policies that eliminate the divided faced by Black Americans with immigrant backgrounds. I don't know who the Black Americans with immigrant backgrounds are, but okay. And then it goes to say we recognize the lives experience of racism and discrimination of among all black people in America, and we invite all people from all background to sign up. So it's like now all of a sudden you're telling me a Haitian and Jamaican is an Adolf, is an American descendant of chattel
She's
slavery.
No,
saying,
that's not what it
see,
says. That's not what it says.
is
So
You
she
what does it
concede?
mean?
Hold on. Is she conceding that there are Black Americans that are not of our lineage? Because
Interesting.
I'm not going to concede that. They need to get their own name. Could they do
Check.
that? Get your own name.
I can share it
But
in the
yeah,
jumbotron, but
that's exact.
it's
Boss lady, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
it,
Please share
yeah,
that.
it's highlighted. It's highlighted, but it's shared now. Yeah, y'all should see it.
I
Black
saw it
Got it.
earlier. I
Black
don't like the
Americans
wording at
with
all.
immigrant backgrounds. We don't
There's no
have
such
immigrant
thing.
backgrounds. We
No,
don't.
there's no such thing.
We
She's
don't.
conceding that all of these freaks that came across the border are being considered Black Americans, and I'm not conceding that.
Correct. So, and that's another reason why I came up is because yes, we're Black American. I hold that ethnicity to my heart, my soul, my bone marrow. But is there a way, or should we as a collective come up with I'm tired of keep changing names because in our history we changed so many names, so many terms and adjectives and nouns. This is just to describe us, but should we solidify the name to where it only refers to us, because now a black immigrant, I mean a black American with
Oh,
immigrant background is now considered
I
a
can answer the
ADOS.
question. I can answer the question. No, they're not using any name that we ever used, even if I'm not using it. They're not using African American. They're going to use Nigerian American. They're not using black. They're not using any of those. Get your own name. What a pack of leeches. They can't even formulate a name for themselves. Just call yourselves first and second gens like you've been doing. Well, we're not any of those. So, no, I'm not changing the name. I'm not, we can get some other names, but I'm not changing it for them. They're not using any of our names. I'm not abandoning any names ever. They need to go away. They need to just leave. If they can't even formulate a space here in this country without infringing on another group.
And also with Trump being in office, I feel like we should definitely start putting pen to paper and writing policies to where what more towards getting rid of these first and second generations. Like, because if you come from an illegal immigrant grandparent or parent, your whole bloodline that's in this country need to go and get deported. So if your grandma, your abuela was an immigrant, the illegal immigrant, and she had fucking 3 kids and they had 2 kids, y'all all need to go because y'all
Well,
illegal
believe
too.
me, I don't know. I mean, he definitely covered a lot on that. In fact, they said, "Oh, don't worry, we're not going to separate families because the whole family is leaving." So don't worry, boss lady. Let's let him do it. Let's let him do what he's doing. Let's see how this goes, because he seems to have all of the bases covered on that. So far, so good. It sounds good. I just want to see some action.
Correct. And I'll land with one more thing just to answer the question of the title of the room. I feel like even though we have like Professor was saying that these immigrants come over here to take from us, I feel like our enemies most of all is within our community, especially the ones that will date outside our community and coon and put other groups before the us, because I have that in my family. You know what I'm saying? I have my black cousin who has a Puerto Rican baby mother, and their biracial kids were so disrespectful to our nana. You get what I'm saying? They put their Puerto Rican heritage first, and it's just like, well, you're black first. So it's just like sometimes right there, like turning the black man against the black woman, and like have the black man give up on their family, because once you do that, it kind of stop everything, especially when the mother adores the son so much, and now the son is turning against the family because of their white woman or their Spanish woman. So I feel like we know who our enemies are. And sometimes and I feel like I don't know how, but we need to work on being a whole again. Not saying we're not whole, but mainly just stick with our community when it comes to like um uh pushing for policies and even building up our families again. Shit, I'm gonna have tons of kids when I'm married or whatever. When I get me and my fiance, I should say. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to carry biracial kids. I don't care to have biracial kids. I have long hair in my family because people always want to put that sticky note on top of having biracial kids. Oh, the hair is gonna come out nice. No, I don't care about that. As a black collective, we definitely do need to stick together and get these fucking immigrants out of our country and our neighborhoods and boycott businesses. And I'll land there. Thank you.
Well, yeah, thank you, boss lady. And to follow boss lady up, let's look at Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. Let's stand on the shoulder of giants so we can see further ahead. The question is, why do FBAs marry outside the race? Well, Dr. Welsing, 30 years ago, had an interesting solution answer to that question. Dr. Welsing says, quote, these practices, of course, avoid problem confrontation. Now, practices she's talking about is marrying white girls, marrying Spanish girls, marrying Asian girls, men, and having the little mixed babies. She calls it, she says these practices, that's the practice she refers to, avoid problem confrontation and thereby prevent problem solution. She says, similarly, The increase in interracial marriages can be viewed as a means of escape and a means of blacks to avoid the awareness of their continuing status as permanent outsiders outside the white chalk circle of white supremacy's numerical and global necessity. So, basically, in brief, what Dr. Welsing is saying is, we get so some of us get so overwhelmed with the problem of racism, white supremacy, that we say, well, you know what? Maybe if I marry somebody on the other side of the fence, or somebody quote unquote exotic, and have a baby with them, I will escape the problem. But that shit never works. I have it running all through my family. Even the mixed blood we got from that rape on the slave plantation, it causes confusion. It does. Like, my big mama was raped on the fields of Aniana, Alabama, by a slave master. And I don't know what type of white he was, but them jeans strong. We still be popping out with blue eyes and curly hair and all that shit, and it causes confusion because one child is born brown, one child is born my color, and the brown child has all kinds of inferiority complexes. You know what I'm saying? It fucks shit up. It's best to just, like my aunties, just marry the blackest girl you can find. That we should get back to that. We should start marrying the most chocolate. You know, we need to get back to like darkening the race. I married a chocolate girl, but that's beside the point.
No,
Yeah,
yeah, we
Um,
we
should.
did do
Our
that.
genes is good. We got some good genes. I swear, I haven't like. I always say our Black American men got the prettiest fingernails, unless they not biting them. You know, the prettiest skin, jawline, curly hair, wavy hair, eyelashes, thick eyebrows. Oh my gosh, we have great genes, but when you start dating, when men and women start dating outside their race, it gets taken away. Like, look at what's the actress name? She was the main character in Why Did I Get Married? Um, you know who I'm talking about. She was in Set It Off as well. What's her name?
Set it off.
The one with the big, like, she got a little round button nose. She was in Set It Off and Why Did I Get Married?
Why did I get married? I know Set It Off. You're not talking about. Let's see who was in Set It Off. Was
Vivica,
Queen
Jada,
Latifah?
Queen, and the
Talking
other
about
one, the one that was
Kimberly,
always shy.
Kimberly Elise.
Yeah, she has a biracial daughter, and her daughter looks so quirky. You know what I'm saying? So quirky, light skin, curly hair with a like, big button nose. Like, it's just like when you, I just feel like it just depletes the blackness. You get what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't, it just, it just depletes the blackness. It's just that our melanin, our power, our strength, our stroke, everything just get depleted and whitewashed once we just give up our genetics. Our genetics is very sacred. We worked a lot. We our DNA, our trauma and experience and our wisdom is passed through our genetics, our DNA. So if we're sharing this with a Spanish, Puerto Rican, white, then we're gonna be having some uneducated, biracial, freaking, what's the term I'm looking for? Crazy in their head, don't know what type
Tragic
of.
mulattoes.
Yes, like they don't know if they want to be black or white. You know what I'm saying? The kids gonna be fucked up because they have to because when you have biracial kids, they never want to put their blackness in front of whatever they mix with. They never want to do that. But I'll land there.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of times you find a lot of anger that they are black. Like, I almost made it. You know, I'm speaking from experience. Anyway, I wrote a chapter in my first book on this. I went to Ghana, to Cape Coast, to the slave castles. Most of us are from in America are from Elmina, not Elmina, Cape Coast. They're right across from each other. You can see Cape Coast from Elmina. Well, anyway, long story short, I learned some shit that I had to write down. I think I'm the first person to put it in a book. What I learned at Elmina is the Portuguese. This is gonna piss y'all off. Matter of fact, if we're gonna do it, let's do it right. I'm gonna put a picture in there. So the Portuguese would had an area in the courtyard of Elmina Castle. I'm gonna put it in Jumbotron shortly, where it was called the Governor's Mansion. So they would every morning at the crack of dawn, out all the enslaved Africans could see. They would point at a young lady, a young African enslaved woman that they want, child really, that they wanted to rape, and they would rape her in front of everybody. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, that served a function to lower the self-esteem of black men, of the African men there, but it served a dual function to create a mixed race baby. They were doing this shit on purpose, ladies and gentlemen. And I found out that the reason why they were creating a mixed race baby was to sell them. They were selling mixed race baby at a different premium, putting them on a whole nother boat to create a leadership class amongst the blacks. How fucking evil is that? So basically, they weaponized race. They were creating light skin and curly hair amongst the blacks, telling the rape babies that you're better than the dark ones, thereby creating a fissure in our cohesion, if that makes any sense. So you had a class of people who thought they were pretty. I'm prettier than the rest of the blacks, and it created division. Now, what I found, last thing I found out at Cape Coast is, I mean, Elmina, the mixed babies, the biracial babies, were allowed to have higher positions than the blacks, and I think that trend still flies to this day. Now, the first picture I'm putting in the jumbotron has the little. It looks like a little house inside of the slave dungeon. The second picture is me standing by a cannon. Behind me is Cape Coast. Now, if you notice, it's a bulge in my jacket. That's me hiding a camera because they were trying to charge me twice. Number one, charge me to go to a fucking slave dungeon that my father's family was sold from. Go figure. And they tried to charge me because I had a camera. They tried to charge me as a brother. Charge me in the first place. I don't know. All right.
I just wanted to say that we married each other at a very high percentage, 84, 87%. That's been very consistent. And we continuously brown ourselves. We're the only group that does that, that goes out of our way to make sure that we do continue to brown ourselves while other people do promote marrying or dating anybody besides themselves. If you will, pay attention to some of these people in the UK, they are very much into that. You rarely see two Jamaican people in the UK in a couple. It's almost unheard of for someone like Sade, who has an African father and a white mother. It's almost unheard
And she
of
fine.
someone like
She
that.
fine.
Yes, it's almost unheard of for someone in that situation to be around black people. That's why her whole band was white. She they don't hang around other black people. The moment that they're mixed, it's like they start a whole new group of mixed people wanting to align with white people. And this
Right.
is their idea. They're coming up with this whitening yourself idea. Yes, they have colonial brain damage, but they had the same opportunity to escape it just like we did. And they didn't take that opportunity.
According to me, on page 18 of my book, many Africans started their slavery process at Elmina Castle in Ghana. That's where I'm standing next to the cannon. The Portuguese slavers would intentionally rape female enslaved Africans with the direct intention of creating a mixed race child. Once mixed race child was born, he or she was separated from the mother, then secondly placed on a mixed race ship. The aforementioned mixed race children were then used to sow division amongst the enslaved Africans in the U.S. colonies and the Caribbean. Although mixed race children were still considered slaves, they often were given privileges that dark skinned Africans were not provided. The vicious psychological warfare tactic was directly responsible for the concepts of good hair and bad hair. Good hair, bad hair, my ladies and gentlemen, started at that fucking slave dungeon I'm standing at. If we would realize this type of stuff, like our lives would, a lot of our problems would just go poof and disappear. It's all an illusion. Midwest, talk to us.
Hey, can you hear me right now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can I? Okay, I'm making sure because I'm in my semi.
Midwest,
Okay,
I can't hear
okay,
you. Drop down and come
Oh
right
my
back.
God, this
all right.
app. Anyway,
Hmm.
we are very proud of ourselves. We just need a booster shot. Because we're the only people talking about say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud, and black is beautiful. We're the only ones that continuously brown ourselves and do not have that improve the race rhetoric. We're the only ones on the earth doing it. We are the only people. We affect people that we don't even know. We made people
Right?
in India feel proud about they don't like us, none of them. The dark ones, the light ones, it doesn't matter. But we have given them an opening to feel good about themselves, even if they'll never admit it to us. I've seen it. We give people with brown skin a feeling that they're not garbage, like they've been, put on that caste system, the Hindu caste system. Says that everybody is, in a fixed cast and they can't get out of it ever, and it's part of their karma. So that's why they don't have a way for you to excel, because it's your karma to be on the bottom and clean toilets for the rest of your life. So you can't, they don't have a system where you can get out of it. So I can understand why a person would want to move here, because we don't have a system that keeps you in a place forever, and they do. So I get that they want to come here, but they come here and they start lashing out at us. And that's the part that, made us an enemy. And we're a very formidable enemy. Every time someone goes against us, they go down in flames at some point. Hey, Andy, what's up? Oh, no, sorry, Midwest, go ahead.
Hey, you said Andy. I saw Andy in that space with Yvette Carnell. I remember she was saying that ADOS
No,
stuff.
I said Indy.
Indy. Oh, okay, sorry. All right.
I forgot. Go
Yo.
ahead.
All right. Hey, Professor, you're talking about, like, even Tariq said what the
Oh
Portuguese
no,
and what the
go
Spaniards
ahead, go
did.
ahead. Let Midwest go ahead because he was kind of up next and came back. So
Yeah,
I'll wait for him to
right.
do his little submission.
I, I
Yeah.
thought you were first. Okay. All right. So, yeah, Professor, I remember Tariq was saying this, that John Henry Clark was saying that what the English did compared to what the Spaniards and Portuguese did were a lot different. Everybody was considered, how they were with the English, but the Portuguese and Spaniards, they implemented those strategies, and I think the French did too. When I look at Louisiana, but regardless, I'm thinking that the reason why you have a lot of biracial children, I still consider them black, they may want to equate themselves with whiteness, is because the man, the black man, if it is a black man, white woman, black man, Asian, whatever, that he's not in control. He's not in leadership position. That's one of the biggest things I see. And I do think that even when I'm listening to that boss lady talk, I mean, you sound like somehow these Nazis said. It's inevitable we're eventually are gonna adapt and evolve. Just like, and I think Professor, you heard me say this a while ago, looking at right now, there's a big issue with these coyotes and these gray wolves mixing together. They're creating something different. Them polar bears are mixing with them Kodiaks and grizzly bears. They're creating a different bear. It's inevitable that things are going to happen because we're in the United States. We're not in North Sentinel Island. So people are eventually going to be. And if you want to constantly tease people, roast people, and I get it. I like roasting myself, but some of these people can't handle it. They don't come from certain places where they know how to fire back. So of course they're going to be some retaliatory, and you're going to end up with, not even for a biracial person, you're going to end up with a Candace Owens. And I don't like Candace Owens, but if Candace Owens had saw Hidden Colors or got stuff, but prior to where she was, she wouldn't be who she is right now. She'd be completely different. I see a lot of thumbs down. Come for me.
Well, Midwest. That's tricky. It's a tricky thing because as foundational Black Americans, we are an amalgamation. So essentially, we are a mix of different things. But the power is coming from us saying, "Okay, stop right there. 1876 census. This mix is a whole new group." So it's real real tricky with respect to what you were saying, and it may be in our best interest to stop that mix where it lies, which won't be hard because foundational Black Americans look all, we have all from that mixing. We look all, you can have what you want. You can have blue eyes and blonde hair naturally, that like people in my family. You can have deep, beautiful chocolate. I mean, we got everything you want. So you don't have to go. I don't not. It's not necessarily. The reason why it's tricky. It's not necessarily a racial thing. It's a cultural thing because cultural vampires found their way into our circles, and that's used just like in, I don't even know if they're aware of it, but just like I was telling you in Ghana at Elmina, the Spanish and I mean the Portuguese said, you know what, we're gonna create children that look like us, but they're black. So it's a control because they'll never be Portuguese. The Portuguese will look at you like you an N word, but then again, black people looking at you funny. I lived that being having hazel eyes and light skin, being red with curly hair in Alabama. I was an outsider. hanging out with. And I love my black people, but I was kind of, for a long time, I was an outsider. It was like, what this dude doing? They call me white boy and shit. I'm like, man, I'm not white. But I didn't understand. This shit used to like fuck with me, but I didn't understand that I was, in essence, I was, people like me were created as a weapon. So, but once the first step to healing is realizing the game that's going on. Last thing I'm gonna say, I'm gonna respond to what you said about black men from Dr. Welsing. Dr. Welsing said the system of racism in the U.S. specifically has been labeled the number one target of attack, the black male. The black male is not only to be intimidated and often physically destroyed, but more importantly, he must be destroyed functionally through the negation of his breadwinning activity for the black family. When men are not permitted to become the major breadwinners and the true functional protectors of their families, a major imbalance is created between the importance of the adult black male and the adult black female roles. Man, oh motherfucking man. Let me peel this page back because I'm living that one. Um, that's a motherfucker. Likewise, the importance of male functioning is discredited and thus subtly disrespected. As a result, chaos and disorganization befalls family life, leaving the family as a dysfunctional survival unit where the mothers are forced to engage in full-time breadwinning and protector activities and are not free to perform their major tasks of childcare and socialization. This it's a motherfucker, and it is very specific, very particular. Indy, holler at us.
Yeah, I wanted to say two things, and I wanted to speak to you, Professor, and Wani often speak to scholarship. I don't know if Wani is a teacher anywhere, but she definitely is in spirit, and everything she does on this app is an educator to me. Um,
No doubt.
I would like to say that you know this whole thing, it was something that you just said about once we start to look at certain things, poof, that whole empathy and thing we got on us will be gone. Yeah, so this whole thing with Trump eliminating the Department of Education, I want to kind of speak to that, because if everything is given back to the states, for example, in my state of North Carolina, when the GOP got control of the House, what they did was they made sure all the black owned charter private schools closed, except for maybe two, in the whole state. And my experience with teaching at a private black owned charter school, you get to control the curriculum. And from what I learned from teaching these kids, like I had to, teach a lot of these kids black history that they weren't going to get at a public school, and self pride and a lot of black excellence and what it means to be black. Even with the sports teams, when you travel, like in North Carolina, there's like different black, or there's different private school leagues when it comes to like sports and competition or whatever. So there's often, I say, in just about every region, you usually have one black owned private school per conference or whatever. It might be six other schools and they're all white. So you have that one black private school. So that kind of ties into your pride to like not let them beat you in anything. So my submission about that is, I'm wondering how that's gonna play out if he ends the Department of Education and everything goes to the states. Like, what are we gonna do as black people to make sure that we either boost, I would say boost up, we have to do something financially to make sure that these schools are staying open, because they could be attacked by the GOP, which I've watched them do already. Then secondly, I wanted to say about this interracial stuff that's going on. Now, personally, I'm hoping to marry a black woman. But what I'm skeptical about is taking on the belief or the notion that somebody from another race can't want a black person or love a black person. So I just want to be careful about how we say that, that we not totally, if because if somebody really loves you, like you, I mean, it's hard to not rock with them. But I get the whole, white and black thing and other races, race mixing and all that. I get that, but I wouldn't want to. It's a lot of fine, beautiful specimens out here that may not be black. And I'm just keeping it real. I'm not saying that that's what I want. I'm just saying that black is beautiful and there are other beautiful things out here too. So I just want to throw that out
You,
there. I'm just saying, like, you can't
well,
stop nobody from loving you. And that's
you know who shut that shit down? Who shut that shit down? That whole concept of you need to love X, Y, or Z was James Baldwin
did
in the
James Baldwin
50s
even
or
like
something.
women? I mean,
No,
I'm
he
just
didn't.
saying,
That's what.
like, I don't,
No, but check this
because
out. He
I be
shut that
looking
shit
at some
down
other
because
shit
somebody.
like that he won't looking at. I'm
No, he
sorry.
didn't. He was LGBT totally, and James Baldwin was a writer. But James Baldwin shut that. The reason why I brought him up, brother, is he shut that notion of you need to marry and love a specific um, category, because somebody confronted James Baldwin, I think in the 50s or the 60s, about not about his lifestyle. And James Baldwin shut that shit down so smooth. He said, "You don't get to choose who you fall in love with." Everybody got quiet as a
You
motherfucker.
do.
So,
I don't understand that statement. You do get to
uh,
choose.
well, shit. In my case,
It's self control.
yeah, I guess that's in the eye of the beholder. But he shut the meeting down with that shit. But in my case, I was raised by a bunch of half white looking people in Birmingham to, and I'm very open about this. I was raised, I was told don't bring home nobody that. I was told to bring home, somebody at least my color. Like some family members was on that shit in my world, but I never was attracted to light skinned girls. Like I didn't, but it wasn't my choice. I just they look like
But
family members, man. I wasn't
I'm
trying
not
to.
saying that James Baldwin shouldn't have, um, we're not talking about his sexual orientation. If he's gay, he's gay. Can't do anything about it, apparently. I'm not
Mm.
gay, so I don't know how that feels, but I guess they cannot do anything about it. However, you can shut things down. If somebody white likes you, so what?
Yeah, that's true. But the brother, yes, Wani, exactly. And Indy, what you said was powerful and true. But yeah, man, Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Poor Dad, that motherfucker is really smart. And he said some shit that in a book called Fake that really has stuck with me for the last several years. He said, "Life is neither head. If life was a coin, life is neither heads nor tails. It's neither one." He said, "Life is that little ugly." Um, Copper, that little part in between the coin with the little lines. It's ugly. It's not sure. It's not really pretty. It's undecided. So it's just really complicated what you're
I
saying.
mean,
Neely Fuller put some really good perspective on that. According to Neely Fuller, he said in the United States of America, power dynamics are very important. I agree with this. And he said, given the facts that we being foundational Black Americans, according to Neely Fuller, are prisoners of war, there is a power imbalance with at least with Caucasian. Like Neely Fuller argues that what you think is love is not really love, it's power. And we have to be honest. In America, we worship power. And Dr. Amos Wilson said blacks have been trained, we've been psychologically trained to think power is bad. Oh, child, I don't want money because if I get money, I'm going to hell. Well, Dr. Amos Wilson said you need power to stand up.
that's not what the
Power is
Bible
essential to.
says.
Yeah, I'm saying I've traveled
No,
outside of the United States
let me
several
let me say
times.
something, Andy.
Go
You
ahead.
know that we have a certain percentage of people that are always going to marry someone other than Black Americans, just like every other group on earth, right? No, there's no group on earth who marries each other 100% of the time.
Facts.
So
No, I gave the example of North Sentinel Island, though, so that's not true.
that does not count. That does
How
Nah,
did
not
how
that's
does it
an
not
count.
count? No,
that's
because
an
that
outlier, my friend.
That's
okay,
because
but that you all want to be outliers though.
that's
It's
because
either we go
the
North Sentinel or
you
not.
get a bow and arrow in your forehead when you try to date over there. That cuts
But that's
down
what y'all want.
that cuts down on the
You're
dating.
I want us to be culturally cohesive. Like, yeah, I think, and I think from my experience, I'm a product of different races, obviously, but I just know how much confusion that can cause. And nobody, maybe it's my business in life to admit to that. Race mixing causes confusion in the family. It causes preferences. It causes insecurities. It's almost kind of hard to explain, but but then again, like Andy said, you gonna love who you love, but also like Wani said, you have a choice over who you decide to, well, who you fall in love with. You ain't got a choice over it,
That's
but you
the
got a
same
child.
thing the battered women say. Oh, well, I can't help that I love him. Okay, then have the black eye. I mean, like, what do you want me to do? You can help who you love. You can stop loving them.
I
Yeah,
was saying
it's
that in a sense, like I like I said, I've been out the country a couple times, and I have
Well,
seen,
your passport boying it on me, huh?
yeah, I look,
uh
I have seen some beautiful, beautiful, and I ain't talking
Mhm.
about no Europeans. I'm talking about I done seen some stuff, and I was looking like, yeah, I sure would, but
oh.
yeah, it does come to a cultural type of I ain't gonna say a problem because people can learn anything, but there's always like a push and pull there, I would say, or like a disconnect, but there are some things that can connect. I just want to throw that out there.
Now, I hope this girl knows how to go to the bathroom because I've had this in my friend circle where somebody married a woman from Asia and she didn't know how to go to the toilet, so she had her feet up on the seat, squatting down, and she broke the toilet. And she never learned how to use. She couldn't do it. The kids knew how to use the toilet, and the father said at the dinner table after she broke the toilet, he said, "Son, you don't marry the first person you blank." So there's that. Yes, these cultural things, they really do show up. So just make sure it's not a serious cultural problem.
Can I interject?
Come
Yes.
on with it.
So it's to go piggyback off of what Midwest was saying earlier, and then Professor, you had said something good too. It's not the fact that sounding like a Nazi by saying we stick to our own kind, but like Professor said, the light skinned, wavy hair, different color eyes was used as a weapon. So that was my basis off of let's stop creating weapons that will go against our own community, our own families, because look at Kobe Bryant's wife, Vanessa Bryant. She's not going to do shit for the Black American community. We don't know if she gave any money towards Mr. and Mrs. Bryant. Did she pay for Mr. Bryant's funeral costs? What is she doing for Kobe Bryant's true legacy? You get what I'm saying? And she almost got $1 billion motherfucking dollars. Excuse my language. You
That
know what I'm
that was that
saying?
was Kobe Bryant's black ass fault. Okay,
No, it was. But guess what he did? He created a weapon. He slept with the enemy and created a goddamn weapon.
Well, Dr. Welsing talks about that, and I thought it was kind of funny. Dr. Welsing calls that idea, she says, the Caroline Brigade. She says a system of white supremacy will line up white women to marry black men who have high earning potential, because that's what it is. Power in America is money. I'm dealing with that shit right now. I love being a scholar, but yeah, I'm sick of this paycheck. But anyway, back to the point, Dr. Welsing argued that or damn near proved that the purpose of that Caroline Brigade is to keep money out of the black community. Like Boss Lady just brought up. I'm sorry. Um, Kobe Bryant's massive fortune is going to a whole nother neighborhood. And if it was outlier, that'd be one thing. But we see it happening across the board with people who marry outside of their race. We're
Now,
in desperate need of wealth.
have
Wait,
we
we don't.
have we noticed
I'm sorry.
have we noticed that there's a lot of noise Midwest? What you doing?
Midwest, some
Um,
I don't know where you are, but it's loud.
I'm gonna be.
have we noticed that celebrity marriages are pure garbage? I mean,
Oh
apparently,
yeah.
money is not an indicator of whether your stuff is going to go well, because one could argue that you can't say, Kanye and Kim Kardashian are broke and that's an issue. No, 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 no. Don't pay attention to celebrity or ball player relationships. Pay attention to our statistics of getting married, because what they do is they pump these people up that are doing the, remember we were talking about the commercials where they have the mixed families. Well, that's what they're doing. They're showing you all the ball players and all the celebrities that are in these mixed things, trying to make it look like that's a normal thing. The numbers haven't changed. There's a percentage of people that marry outside, period. It hasn't gone up. It's not going anywhere.
I just think like at this point, like it's a lot of self inflicted wounds that's killing the black community. It's just self inflicted. A lot of the niggas who swear outside their race, like I've seen, like in my generation, I've seen these niggas grow up. They used to say goofy shit when we was in high school. Who I like the white girl, they got soft skins and shit like that. And it's like now you got a mixed kid and you want me to look at you like you did something great. These niggas, I'm telling you, like at this point, I I think something horrible is gonna happen to where like it's gonna come down to the niggas who have chosen, because the niggas who do this shit are race traders. That's just what it is. They said that they hate what they look like and they want their kids to look like something else. And racial unity be damned. Um, they consciously made that choice. I swear to God they did. And when when you say, well, if a conflict ever comes up, your kid is going to be conflicted about whose side he's going to be on. These, I'm just saying, like these people are race traders, and it's a lot of them. It's a lot of them. I don't believe in the whole you fall in love with who you know. No, 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 no. These niggas plotted to do this shit since they was kids. Don't let them lie to you. It was their dream to do that shit. And now this society today, it promotes that. It promotes that shit openly. So it's right now, this shit's horrible. I mean, horrible. I mean, like we might look like Brazil in 20 years or so. And the fucked up thing about it is the kids who are mixed ain't gonna identify as black. They gonna marry white. This needs to be stopped like right now. Like niggas doing this shit need to be called out. Kids under the age of 20 with white girls all the time, they need to be chastised. This ain't a game. Like it's not funny, it's not cute. Oh, he like white girls. Oh no, no, bitch. Tell your motherfucking son that's not acceptable. It's getting bad and it's destroying us. I mean, it's nothing cute about it. Nigga, you got a fetish from watching porn. I don't give a fuck. Quit trying to say it's your destiny, nigga. You watch too much porn, nigga. And you've made it your point to lie with something that don't look like you, and that's the only way you can get off now because you watch porn 4 nights a week. That's why you want to mix
Or a night.
black girl. I
How do
know.
you know the schedule?
I'm just
Why
saying.
not
That's
every night?
look.
You
I'm just
liked it that much,
saying.
you might as well go all the way out.
I've seen this shit, man, and these niggas with a sincerity are gonna act like they don't know what the fuck they doing. Like that's the worst part about it, nigga. You know what the fuck you doing. You know what the fuck, and you don't give a fuck. I'm telling you. These
Well,
niggas are home.
hold on. Let me kind of clarify that a little bit for you,
No, hold
brother.
on, hold on.
Hold on, hold on, Big Hawk. Let's see. Americano was before you. Go ahead, Americano.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys giving me a chance to talk. I don't want to come off as racist in any way, but if you're a black man and you are, I mean, dating is one thing, but if you're having kids with anyone other than a black woman, you're killing yourself. The genetics is very clear. I want to be very, very clear. I can't claim FBA. I'm an African man. I'm Igbo, 100%. Mom's Igbo, dad's Igbo, from Al Igbo, from Igbo land. But if you're a black man and you're having kids outside of your race, you're killing yourself.
What's our race?
Say it again.
What's our race?
If you are having kids with anyone
What's
else,
our race? Your race and our race is not the same race.
okay, let me. I don't want to go back and forth, right? If you are
Hmm.
if you are having kids with anyone other than a
Are
melanated
you gonna
person,
have children? Are you gonna have children with a non-Igbo woman?
so I don't like. There's no reason to like for us to start attacking each other. I'm trying to make a submission. If
How am
you,
I attacking you?
if you,
Boy,
if you, if you,
that's attacking. I
if
just
you,
wanted to know if you were gonna marry within your tribe.
nobody
Yeah,
is
can
gonna
I
How
ask
have
a
my.
question?
how is that
Let
an
me just
attack?
let me. Should
Nah,
I finish
see, it's
speaking,
a
please?
reason why he don't want to answer that question. Cause he
Let,
trying
let
to
me let
come
me
at
just
us and tell us
let
what
me
we should
just
be doing.
let me just
Uh huh.
finish let me just
Uh
finish
huh.
my submission. Let me finish my submission. If you're not a melanated woman, if your
Yeah,
skin is
but
not
you can at least
dark,
respect the co-host and answer a question.
yeah,
Just
but I'm
ask
I'm
the
trying to
question.
answer the
You don't
question. If
even
like
know
I
what
don't
a
understand why.
melanated person is.
No, but that's real
You don't
disrespectful.
even know what we're talking about.
No,
We're
but I
talking
do. I've been
about
listening. I don't
marrying.
know why you're
No,
starting to attack
no,
me.
no, no.
Like I'm trying to
We're
make a
talking.
submission, but like I'm.
We're talking about.
Americano. Let's go with this. So, are you gonna marry a non-Igbo woman? I see where Wani's going with that. She's not trying to be
I'm not
disrespectful.
okay.
I see.
Okay. I appreciate that. I'm not gonna marry anyone that's not dark skinned.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's.
you're
I think that's where Wani
confused.
was going. Like it's a.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Wani.
you're a confused individual. We're not
Oh,
talking about dark skin or
all right.
light
Well,
skin.
I'm a confused individual. Let me mute my mic. I appreciate you getting me.
Yeah,
Let me a
because
chance to.
we're
Okay.
different shades.
All right. Well, I'm darker skinned than you, but that's okay.
It's not about dark skin.
Americano, how are you African but your name is Americano?
This is Twitter. I mean, your name is not actually Boss Lady 9.1, but that's another story.
Yeah,
That's
I
Let me
would
just mute
never
her
name
myself.
real
my
I'm
deception
child
and
sorry. I'm
name.
lies.
sorry to have entered your conversation.
That's her real
The
name, sir.
deception he started with when as soon as he started talking. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Which
God
kind of
damn it.
uh,
deception? I don't understand.
it's all good. You
Well,
said just mute your mic, so you should do that. So,
Yeah, he
thank you.
started off talking about, oh, I ain't trying to be racist, but yeah.
No, no, it's just
Okay.
that preach down mentality
I
that he has.
literally said, I literally echoed what someone
I
just
thought you said
said
you were
right
gonna mute
before
your
me.
mic.
Yeah, but you
Um,
don't know what we're talking about.
I
yeah, I think you're not following us. We're talking about lineage, and that's what Wani was asking you. Like, are you going to marry? She was making it clear that we're not the same lineage. Now
yeah,
that's not a pejorative.
I'm not.
That's not
Because,
Yeah, I
pejorative.
don't. I
like,
agree.
We
We're
just
not the same lineage.
be okay, but hold on. I would never defile myself by marrying an African, and that's a melanated person, correct?
When you say defile yourself, I mean
Yeah,
that's kind of. Oh, okay.
defile. I don't want a white boy and I don't want an African
Okay.
because we're talking about our lineage, and
Oh,
neither
okay.
one of them are our lineage.
Okay. All right.
So that's
So,
what we're talking about.
all
We're not
right.
talking about marrying darker skinned people. We're
Okay.
a range of colors.
All right.
We're a range of colors.
Okay.
We're
a
speaking
wide
about
range.
marrying each other
Okay.
in our present state. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I do. I
It's
mean,
like you
I
may
understand
have a
what you're saying.
custom. Okay, like you may have a custom, and I know you do. So please don't gaslight me because I know that a lot of
I'm not
people
gaslighting
in
you.
Africa, a lot of people in Africa, their parents get on them if they don't marry someone from the same
That's true.
tribe,
That's
right?
100%
And
true.
are they talking about and yeah, you guys all may be similar in complexion because you don't have as much admixture, but you're still focused on the tribe.
No, no, we're not. There's lots of mixtures
Yeah,
between
you
different
guys
ethnic
always
groups.
say, yeah, you guys always say you're lighter and all that.
No,
But in
there's lots of
fact,
different
most
mixtures
of the
within
time,
ethnic groups, but most people within their ethnic group marry somebody within their ethnic group. I agree with that. But what does that
yeah,
have to
that's what
like?
we're talking.
I don't understand how the conversation like went in this direction.
Well, just
Uh,
listen a
Because
little more, you'll figure it out.
you don't know what you're talking about and you shouldn't be in the conversation. That's why.
okay,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah. I advise you to Americano with no disrespect. Sit back and
No,
listen
that's
because
fine. I mean,
it's
that's
kind
fine.
of going
I
skew.
mean, I've been in a couple of spaces where it's like this, and I appreciate you treating me this way.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt,
No,
no
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 problem.
harm, no pejorative taken, but it's just you're not. It may be um
What did I
beneficial for you to
miss?
sit back
What
and
did I
listen.
miss? Did I
But
miss
just sit
something?
back and listen. Just be quiet.
Yeah, sit back and
All
listen,
right,
and
cool.
then we'll
Let me sit back. Let
I'll
me sit
bring
back
you
and
back
listen.
up, bro.
I appreciate it. No
Yes,
problem.
sir.
Thanks.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, and that's I'm glad that happened because we need to um kind of make it clear what we're talking about. And although I don't feel as though I don't think Americano meant any harm, he jumped into a conversation that he didn't understand. You know what I'm saying? And that was a microcosm of the problem that the foundational Black American has been having for the last 40 fucking 50 years. People coming in, my dad used to say all skin folk ain't kin folk. People that look like us coming into a conversation, getting involved with our politics and running away with something they don't understand. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of glad that happened to kind of identify it. I think Kanye and then, oh no, I'm sorry, Big Hawk, go
The
ahead.
reason
No,
that
no,
I was
whoa.
saying that is because if I were to go out and marry a Cuban guy that's chocolate brown, I'm going to have the same problems that I'm going to have if I marry a white man. Or if I
Yep.
marry an African, it's going to be, we do it this way, we're about this. Somebody's going to have to go down and give up their culture or just admit that their culture sucks. And that's what we don't need. We have the dominant culture. So I'm not going to be told, anything by some Cuban guy. I'm not going to be told to go make foo-foo balls by some African guy. And I'm not going to be told to go make a sandwich and get a beer by some white guy.
Yeah, y'all, it is hard enough, and y'all can listen to me on this shit. It's hard enough marrying a woman or a man from your lineage. That shit is hard enough. But I can't comprehend marrying a woman outside of the because marriage is very hard. It's very hard. But y'all have commonalities. Marriage is about compromise, and you're gonna compromise on little bitty shit, but compromising on, like Wani was saying, culture, that's a no brainer. I mean, I've seen that happen all across my friends and colleagues from high school. I went to a very diverse high school, and I'm gonna go so far as to say those cross cultural marriages don't necessarily work. I know one Asian guy who married a white girl, and he's still married. I guess he's been married 12 years, has 3 kids, but this is his second white girl. The first white girl he married refused to learn Vietnamese. His mom, I mean, his not his mom, his brothers and dad had come over to their house speaking Vietnamese, and she told them in front of us, "Can y'all stop talking that around me? You're making me nervous." Like it's yeah, yeah, yeah. But he got another white girl that he found in a church, and they're really heavily religious, and that's seemingly keeping them together. It works, but it's I don't think it's a good idea. I can't tell. Was it Big Hawk or Kanye?
Yeah, it was me.
Kanye.
Go ahead, Kanye.
Hey,
Y-
Kanye.
What's going on, Wani? How you doing, Professor?
What's up, brother?
Real quick, just so that you said what now? I'm sorry.
No, I said,
Oh,
what's up,
okay, okay,
brother?
cool. Nice to see y'all, man. My bad, I was out here asleep. Um, are Black Americans aware of the enemies or other groups here aware? Yes, we are definitely aware, and they are aware that we are aware, which is why they come in and try to take over the conversation and then act all confused, literally COINTELPRO all over again. Um, so I don't know. I'm not giving the grace that you gave, brother. That man knew exactly what he was doing, and one of the COINTELPRO things is act confused, question things already decided upon. And he played that exact to the T. A lot of these people be agents in here listening to our conversations, and they come in just to throw it off. And also, I just wanted to say earlier, there was some guy on stage talking about, I really don't like when y'all get up here and stereotype the entire group of black men. Black men in general are marrying our women, black women, at 80%, 80+% rates, which is really high.
Yeah.
So this whole notion that we all dating outside of our race is crazy as hell. Now, if you around a bunch of people that do that, speak for your people, but the numbers say something completely different. And also, just be careful when y'all speaking for the entire race, because y'all tend to only do that when y'all saying something negative. Like they'll say, "Oh, black people, we are on downfall." If you believe that, then you are a tool in our oppression, right? Because historically, we've always done well. And historically, they've always directly attempted to sabotage us in every way possible. Even now, the whole delineation thing is making them scratch their heads trying to find a new way to sabotage us. 'Cause you want to know why? Now they can't do it with the skin folk no more. Now they can't say, "Oh, you guys all look alike." No, so now they scratching their heads. So we have always fought back and been against our own oppression. So when y'all come up here saying stupid stuff like, "Oh, we our own problems, are the self-inflicted wounds," no, no, no. If you dig holes in your yard and I walk in and I fall, that's not something I did to myself. That's a trap you set. You don't get mad at a bird for getting into a bird trap. It's a bird. It's a trap. It happens like that. Now, what we're doing is what no other group has ever done: face all these problems and attacks and still come out on top. So we control culture in this country. Like Wani was saying, we have a dominant culture. We have a very relaxed culture. We don't stress as much as other groups, and we know how to get through our pain, self-soothing, and healing each other. And that's what we've always done as a people. That's the positive side we need to focus on. It's very irresponsible and dangerous to get into a room full of people and say negative things about black people as a black man, because you know what they'll do? They'll say, "Oh, I was in one of those Twitter spaces, and even a black man said X, Y, and Z about these people." Like they'll literally use your words to demonize us. They did that situation with Oprah in Chicago. When they asked Oprah, "Hey, why don't you build a school in Chicago?" Well, those kids don't want to learn. They just want Jordans and shit like that. Next thing you know, the Illinois Department of Education shut down all those schools in Chicago, and all of a sudden you got gang wars going on. That happened as a direct result of her words. So we got to be careful when we say these things in public spaces about each other. Every black person I know is highly successful, striving for it. You got some people who haven't figured it out yet, but we're on our way. We got it's our job to hold these people accountable. What we can't do is demonize people who haven't figured it out yet. We can't say they don't want to do it because they ain't have to do it. There's a lot of obstacles in their way. Just consider yourself smart and lucky and take that same knowledge and educate the people instead of demonizing. That's all I want to say. Appreciate that, Professor.
Oh yeah, and that's very true. What I've learned in this last presidential election cycle is and I've said this before, the power, the absolute fucking power of the media machine, of the news and the conditioning of these commercials and these visuals, these, you know, it's brainwashing. So I'm saying that in context is we're brainwashed to think that there are more interracial couples than they are. I mean, look at every commercial. It's, when was the last time you seen a foundational black man and foundational black woman on a commercial? So it's easy to get fall into the trap of thinking things are greater than what they are. But the statistics speak for themselves. 80%. Big Hawk, talk to us.
87 and 84.
Well, you know what? To
Wow,
what
even
you
higher.
to kind of a little bit to that point. I feel as though for those because they kind of they inflate it to make it look as if that's something that's really happening, right? So, but what happens though is that these people are either already kind of got pre-existing subjections in their mind about it. So, if they're so weak enough to just go ahead and decide that when they weren't going to do that before, that's who that it was meant to galvanize in the first place. But because the whole thing is about in our community, that was really uncool. You know what I'm saying? Like nigga, you like girl, you was lame if you over here with the white men. You know what I'm saying? You was considered lame. You feel? And in certain parts of our neighborhood, still it's still like that. But anyway, what I wanted to say is this: I feel that the entire thing is um for here in America, and we'll use Africa as well. I'll say for here in America, white white nationalism has been built up already, right? That's what the country had been built up on white nationalism. Now, in order to counterbalance that, in order to even save America or save the world, that we need black nationalism because it's white nationalism is really on its way out. It's almost in the stages of it's already been built up to the point to where now it's in the same stages of medieval times or king and queen times. You know, you getting oligarchs that are
Nigga,
ruling,
what?
and you getting oligarchs that are ruling, and you got extreme peasant, you know, extreme rich against up against extreme poor. So this is what they were trying to create with the illegal immigrants. But what I mean by white nationalism and black nationalism is the fact that a lot of these people, a lot of these kids that go into that, they don't have any pride in themselves or even in their own race or even in their own lineage. Well, that's due to white nationalism. They view them as a dominant society when they really are not they're really not dominant. What makes them dominant is us. We are the ones that give them, and especially the perceived dominance. They actually galvanize on that little perceived dominance. When you go and practice these holidays, now you have to be really intentional about this. When you go and practice these holidays, especially the stage that we're in now, this is their ritualistic ceremony stage where they garner a lot of energy and power from the people, and we give it to them by practicing in their ritualistic practices. But what it's designed to do is to give white supremacy power. You over there practicing Christmas, and you don't even know where it comes from. You don't even know what it's about, but you know Santa's white, and you're sitting on his lap, and you get gifts and you get presents. But you know, they don't know that that's about homosexuality, and all it came from Rome and all of that shit. But just like the Halloween, the Thanksgiving, these are all massacres and atrocities that happened in the past have been uh, 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 now they flipped it on you and make it seem like it's something good. But you know that of course they gotta tie us in that way. Because but anyway, I'm saying that white nationalism has built America, and the only thing going to save America is black empowerment, black nationalism. Think about it. They've given billions of dollars to Ukraine. They've given billions of dollars to these illegal immigrants. They're undergirding them over us. Now,
Well, I will agree with that, as Elon Musk pointed out. Um, the objective of the Kamala Harris campaign was to solidify. I thought Elon was bullshitting, but when I saw those maps, me and Wani talked about this the other night. Elon said that the Harris administration was going to solidify the immigrants as voters, and in 4 years, and they were going to solidify the immigrants class as voters in swing states,
yes,
Ohio. And once that shit, if, Elon was like, in 4 years, once these states were solidified, they would be democratic, and there will never be an election again. It will just keep swimming to the Democrats. Um, I didn't believe it until the other day when I saw the results, and I was just telling Wani about this. If you look at the areas that were dominated by the Democratic Party, damn near almost 100% of them said no ID required. I was like, holy shit, Elon wasn't bullshitting. Quan, talk to us.
Peace, how are you? Can you guys hear me?
Hey,
Hey,
Hey, Wani, Kanye, Boss, everyone on the panel.
What's up, Quan?
I just had to come up. And you know, I don't often speak in these rooms, but I have to address this because it's becoming a common thread. And I just want to address the brother Big Hog. So if you would just please, I promise you it's not going to go negative. I just have to address this. So, Big Hog, sir, I've been in many spaces with you. And you may have not seen me at the bottom, but I've been in many spaces with you where I've heard you say some very suspect stuff that can come off as Asian provocateur type rhetoric. I've heard you say that we should threaten politicians, take up arms, create a militia. Now you're talking about black nationalism. and all of this stuff. And it's like, okay, that's Agent Talk 101. Okay. See, I come from the Black Conscious Movement, and normally when we hear people talking like that, we know that that's bait. Okay. Now, I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying that what you say can come off like that. And I've heard you in many rooms saying some real crazy stuff that can get people locked up. And telling people that they should create militia and all this other stuff, that's like being an enemy to us, because that's how the J6 folks, the 3% and all these other folks got their asses locked up with charges, because just like your rhetoric, they would say the same shit online, and then they put action behind the shit that they were saying online. And that's how they got locked up. Let me
Well, let me
finish.
let, well,
That
Let
and he
me
got the
well,
finish.
profile
well,
Let me
picture.
finish.
well, well, let me
I
let
know,
me
I
let,
know, I know.
let me
Let me finish.
let me
Let me
rebut that
let
to
me
what you
finish, sir.
saying.
Hey,
Military.
hold on, Big Hawk. I'm gonna let her land her plane, and then I'll let you have a quick rebuttal. It's a double mute. It's no longer muted. Quan, come on.
Oh, here
Oh
we
boy,
go.
here we
I'm
go.
back. I'm back.
Can y'all?
I'm back. Sorry
Okay.
about that. Again, I'm not accusing you. Because if you go back to a lot of those rooms, you will catch me in the comments saying, "Hey, wait a minute. Watch the rhetoric. Watch the talk. There's, the feds are always listening, and we don't want to get people caught up, because it's easy to stray people and influence people to do some dumb shit that'll get them locked up. I'm not saying you're an agent. I'm just saying that the type of rhetoric that you say in these spaces can come off as an agent provocateur. And what we don't want to do is be on these recorded spaces being quote unquote black nationalists, which was really on the FBI's watch list. Okay. So that's why I'm saying this, just to give you a fair warning that it's not smart to talk like this on these recorded spaces, because this shit can be used against us in a court of law. So I'm off my soapbox. I just had to share that with you.
So you say so you saying black empowerment is on the FBI's
No, I
list,
didn't say
right?
black empowerment. I said the black nationalists, the picking up the arms and creating black militias. That's what I said that would get your ass locked up. Okay. That's because, again, I didn't say black
Well,
empowerment. I said black
of course, I have.
nationalist, that type of rhetoric, which was on the FBI list. Yes, that can get you locked up. That has nothing to do with black empowerment. That's like a straight beeline to getting your ass with a charge. Because, first of all, picking up, being like quote unquote a militia, there's constitutional law against that. You cannot be a private militia. It's actually on the books. You can get your ass locked up.
Conspiracy charges.
Thank you.
No, that's not true. But
Okay.
let me say this. Let me say this because you have to be when you do that, you have to be specific, and then you have to be organizing those people as well for that. But what I'm saying is I'm giving them you when I say militarize, you have to militarize your mind, defend the gates of your mind. This is the way that you must think. You must know so that you can think. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. But I ain't gonna lie. I did say some shit, right? But in black empowerment or black nationalism, let me tell you something.
Not the same.
Hasn't now this is known. It has this country not built up white nationalism up until this point?
Brother, what I'm trying to tell you is there's a big difference between black nationalism, which is on the FBI hit list, and black empowerment. That's
They
two totally
practicing
different
Sharia
concepts.
law.
That's
They
fine.
practice Sharia law in the United States right
That's
now.
fine. But what I
They are not.
what I will say is
Well,
this again. It is not the
But
same.
they afraid of your black ass. One thing you gotta
It's not about being afraid. It's
understand,
about being
and I know what
smart. It's about being
I
smart,
know what
sir.
I. Okay, well, when they want to come and get me, they know where the fuck I'm at. You know what I'm
Okay, well that
saying?
be you, but don't bring everybody down with you on a
And they
recorded space. That's all I'm saying.
no,
Just watch
I
your
ain't
rhetoric.
brung nobody. I ain't brung nobody into nothing. We ain't doing organized crime. and there ain't no I ain't told these people nothing of about no
You did
militia,
say we
but
should
it
threaten
says within
politicians, though.
You said it. You've also said
no,
they
when
should
did I
create
say that?
militia. You said that you was threatening politicians, and we need to go at these politicians and all kind of stuff you were saying. And if you check,
Yeah.
I said we need to put pressure on our politicians. Now what is
dude,
the
you can
harm
go
in
check
that?
the comments. You can go down my comments while I'm actually in the room. Say, hey,
Yeah, that
watch
ain't
your
all you
rhetoric.
said.
Okay, I literally was in the comments like, watch your rhetoric.
Okay, can you tell did I threaten the politicians?
Well, I don't want to get into a back and forth situation. I appreciate Quan, and she's actually right. Now, brother, I didn't catch it. I didn't catch you say anything incendiary. But to be honest with you, I went to go get some yogurt, so I probably missed it. But just moving forward, that's I'm not a this is a nonviolent space. I don't condone violence. But and we do have to be really fucking careful about how we talk. There are ops on this space, of course, and everything. Even though you don't hit record, it's still recorded. This is the internet. Y'all remember the motto for the NSA was all your data, capital ALL, your data. They know, and they do. I went to law school, so I know a little bit about this stuff. You can there's a clear and present danger clause in the Constitution, and furthermore, we're not allowed the same leniency as these white supremacist groups. So we just got to be careful how we talk about stuff. And the last thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna unmute. I rarely use my mute. Last thing I'm gonna say is, according to Professor Chris Hedges, he's right about this. What I want everybody under the sound of my voice to know is the United States of America. This system speaks violence so much better than you can possibly imagine. To speak it, anybody who's served in any capacity in the military knows that trying to come up with some type of violent resistance is futile. In fact, according to Professor Hedges, that would be a gift to the system. They would love that because that would just justify them trying out their new toys. So, yeah.
Right.
All right.
No, I definitely understand that. And sometimes they do catch me in moments where I'm saying, but I'm still careful. I know what I'm saying. And what it sounds like to her is not what it is not it doesn't warrant a actual indictment. You know what I'm saying? You have to go a little bit further than that. But anyway, protect our freedom of speech. And I do understand what you're saying, and I don't want to come off as a agent provocateur or something
Yeah, but
like
can you
that because
understand
they.
the suspicion of? Because you don't have a profile picture.
Oh no, I understand
Okay.
it. Yeah, I definitely understand it. And reason why I don't got no profile picture because I know how I'll be talking on this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, y'all gonna see my face in a minute. I'm gonna post my shit.
I mean, you ain't got to. I'm just
You
saying, but
know.
you do understand like the suspicion.
Soon as Trump get in office, I'm gonna post it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, I had to do that for these Democrats. Fuck them.
It's just a
And
warning.
again,
Yeah,
Quan,
yeah,
good
it was
looking
just
out.
a warning, brother. Like I said, I suspect. I didn't say you were. I said I suspect. And so I'm just giving you a heads up.
Yeah, no,
It's
I
all
know,
love. I just want us
I
to be a
know.
little bit
But
mindful.
anyway, black empowerment we but I'd say black nationalism because certain things. But anyway, black empowerment is really what I mean though. That's going to actually save America. That's going to save the world from World War III. You don't know it, but we got to realize that in all of these billions and millions of dollars in which we spend outside the country to fight proxy wars and actual wars could be spent right here at home rebuilding the American people. We are American people that have been neglected here for years, and when we get angry, we get mad at the system. But I say that to take your anger and and turn it into focus. We I know we cannot be angry. We must use our anger and focus and use it in a strategic manner to bring about the future of black empowerment.
Gotcha.
Got you. Black Truth, what's on your mind?
Salute, brother professor. Salute, sister Wani. Just to add something to what has been talked about recently. We have to be as wise as serpents and as harmless as doves. So I'll just leave that where that is. And now, to address the topic of the room, are Black Americans aware of their enemies? I would say yes. We're getting there. There's a critical mass that we have to hit. I think more of our people are becoming aware. Some of our people are still on, the Pan African nonsense, and you'll always have fringe groups here and there. But I think for the most part, we're trending in the right direction. More of our people are realizing, especially with them putting out Kamala Harris, more of our people are realizing, yeah, there are clear lines in the sand. There are clear distinctions between FBAs and all other so-called melanated groups. So, but one thing I will say is I don't know if we comprehend the complete depravity of some of these other groups. Right now, I'm currently reading the book. Wow, it's slipping my mind right now. I'm currently reading The Delectable Negro, and man, the levels of depravity, the levels of sick, homoerotic, cannibalistic, demonic, pagan, uh, worship, just all kinds of nonsense that these other groups have, especially the SWSs. Uh, I really don't think our people comprehend it all the way, but again, like I said, I think we're getting there. I think we're getting to the point of realizing just how sick and demonic these people are. Obviously, we have the Hidden Colors and other movies that are waking us up, but we really need to study more. I think more of these books and really try to comprehend the minds of our enemies because it's some sick stuff, man. It's really bad. But I just wanted to add that real quick. I'll drop down. Thank you.
Yeah, that's. I'm glad you made that point. The book he's talking about, for those who don't aren't aware, is a book, basically a cookbook for Black people, like on how white supremacists would cook and eat Black people after a lynching. I mean, they would cook. They ate Nat Turner. They sold, they made soups out of Nat Turner. And the point that the brother brought that I want to emphasize is we don't understand. Back to the title. Are we aware? Yet we're just now awakening to people who are diametrically opposed to us. But like the brother brought up, we're not really aware collectively as to the depths as far as some of these people will go. Who talked about that in great detail was Dr. Amos Wilson. Dr. Amos Wilson said that, and I'm going to try to paraphrase him best I can. He said, we inculcate stuff. We inculcate white supremacy. Like, so will white supremacy will let me think of a good example. We'll deal with discrimination, high magnitude discrimination, and we as a group will say, well, what's wrong with me? I've done it. You know, we turn inward and say, what's wrong with me? According to Dr. Amos Wilson, he said, how about these people are pathological? It has nothing to do with you. So that's part of delineation and realizing that groups, we just don't have nothing in common with certain groups. We're actually diametrically, certain groups are diametrically opposed to us, and the sooner we realize that, the better, which kind of fits into the interracial thing earlier. Like, you gotta be careful who you associate with. But anyway, Kanye, what's on your mind?
I'm so happy you pointed that out. The fact that a lot of us turn inward. We need to stop doing that shit. That's why I shoot it down every time I hear somebody say, "Well, we." No, 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 no. This system is bare on us so long that you got people blaming themselves for being victims, right? Which is crazy as hell. So yeah, no, we definitely got to get away from that. And also, I just want to add to the thing the other guy said about being more tactical and strategic when you make certain statements and things of that nature. Again, we are not a violent people. We don't advocate for violence or anything like that. Advocate for fighting for justice within the confines of the law. That's always been the way we've done things. We've got things done in this country by doing that. Even when they switch the laws, we still figure out a way to get it done. We are very determined people, and we don't resort to savagery. So, shout out to us for that. But no, I think that's very important to not take on the burden for somebody else's evil. Right? We can be sitting there not bothering anybody, and they will still target us. So this is not about us. This is all about them. There's nothing wrong with that, right? We're gonna be who we are. They're gonna be who they are, right? We can defend ourselves legally within the confines of the court system by fighting these bullshit ass laws, this gerrymandering, and all this other nonsense. We can fight that as we always have. But when you guys take the guilt and you put it on us and try to put it on the rest of the group, saying shit like, "Well, we gotta come, we help ourselves." No, we don't. This is all target. They have files among files on how to actually target us. They even have documentaries on how to sell to us and how to prey on us, and they even go as far as to come up with shit like COINTELPRO. Even J. Edgar Hoover had an entire that entire directory put together on how to break up the black family and pump drugs in the community,
Wow.
all type of shit. So they, no matter, we're not doing anything. They're just targeting us. They don't want us to be successful. That's their mo. That's what they do.
Yeah, and history would be, if we had our own schools or our own type of scholastic system to teach our youth just raw history, that would kind of eliminate a lot of this confusion and this inculcation, this turning inward. If you knew the real history, you would find out. I think what would be helpful on Kanye and associates is if we realized collectively that these people did this to each other. I think that would really clear things up. Like they tortured and enslaved each other. So if you, in my mind's eye, if we would know, oh well, they did that to each other, how could they treat me any different? We're the best thing to ever happen to a large group of Europeans. Well, a large group of foreigners, actually immigrants. Period. We're the best thing because these people were fighting each other tooth and nail. That's what the slave trade was about. The transatlantic slave trade was about a war in Europe. It was France and England were killing each other, bloody war. Europe was at war, and when they discovered us, and Pope Innocent II identified the African as as a permanent slave. Check this out. The African was a solution to a problem. They had slaves in Europe, in England, and the problem was in Spain. The problem was slaves were white, and they would run away, shave their mustache, and people didn't know who they were anymore. So when a couple enslaved Africans were
Did you break up, or is that just me?
I think he got a call.
Oh, okay.
So when I'm speaking about preserving our group, this is what I'm trying to preserve. Um, we have a certain spirit about ourselves. The other people do not have all of these award-winning
hey,
musicians. Hey, are you back?
hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, I'm
What
back.
happened?
I had a phone call, a
Oh,
very important phone
that's what
call.
I thought. No, I was just quickly saying why we have something to preserve and how um me marrying an African guy is not any different than marrying a white guy from what we're talking about. Basically, African people don't have any sports legends. They don't have any people that touch your soul with music. They don't even have a music genre. We created all of their music genres. We have something to preserve. Tens of thousands of inventions, patents, and we have that very, very recorded, period. Now, they don't record our patents and inventions as much. You have to really dig through to see what we're doing, but we're still inventing just like we were doing before with the 50,000 in that period of time. Why would I date somebody, hook up with a group of people that has nothing like that? I mean, nothing. No sports legends, no music legends, no big portfolio of inventions. Anything that I would do with anybody is dating down if it's not a Black American. And we just don't understand. These other people don't measure up. It's not about melanin, we've found. Because a lot of people have melanin and they're still not sports legends. And there's absolutely no excuse for it because we became sports legends with nothing. No, no backing, no equipment, no training, nothing. We had raw talent and we still have it today. So, yeah, we have something special to preserve, and I want us to preserve it and understand what it is.
Hey, Wani, do me a favor. Check your text message.
Okay.
I just you can say yes or no.
No.
Okay, good, good, good. It was it was a heated conversation, but yeah. So I lost my train of thought. South, what's on your mind?
Look like a damn
That was
musty
a
tether
mistake.
came back in the room. He might need got
I
his
think that's a
hand
white
up.
man. That's a white man.
Double mute. So, peace to the room. First off, thank you, Professor A, Sister Wani, Kanye. I wanted to ask y'all three a question. I'll try to keep it brief and specific. You can respond however you want to respond, but the question would be this: let's say we put the best of the best together, come up with a Black American agenda, we get that passed. 30 years from now, let's just say we're 5 years into implementing that plan. Do you think we would have a Black Renaissance, whether that's politically, culturally, etc.? Black families back, the whole kit and caboodle. We basically destroy and dismantle the system. How do you think the next Black Renaissance will look in America within that 30-year time frame, or 15, or however y'all want to put it? Thank you very much. That's all I had.
I thought we were in the middle of having one now.
I was just
I
about to
think we're
say
at the
that.
beginning of
It's
one.
starting.
We are Dr. Francis Chris Wilson, Dr. Claude Anderson, and a whole other people set the foundation for everything you're seeing today. They spoke about this in the 80s, 40 some years ago.
Thank you very much for correcting me. I'll go ahead and drop down to my proper place to the audience. This is why I love y'all.
No, you didn't. We didn't correct you. You just we're sowing the seeds for it right now. We're on the right track.
Yeah,
Understood.
he
Thank you
wanted
very
to
much.
reconfirm. Like, is this what we doing? Absolutely, that's what we doing.
Hey, look, I'm with everything we're doing right now. We fully feel that. We always talk about the past. We had these great thought leaders. We're seeing this stuff now, and everybody's on code. And that's why I said I want to keep my question specific. Of, hey, how would it look 30 years? And like I said, y'all, hey, we're doing it now. Like, where are you at? And it's true. We don't. I'm not saying we don't see it all across the whole collective, because we see it in different bits and pieces. But like Kanye says, you have to stop talking from that little limited mindset of that. And once again, that's why I said let me drop back down to the audience, because you've already verified everything. I just didn't piece it all together. But as soon as all three of y'all said that, I'm like, yep, they're right. I'm wrong. Boom. It's as
No, it
simple as
wasn't a
that.
bad question. Though. It's like honestly, I think that's if you don't know stuff like questions like that make a lot of sense. And Professor Allen and Wani are definitely the ones you want to ask that question to. They're more familiar with the teachings of the people we kind of following now. But I will say, I think in 30 years, if I had to predict, delineation will be more than just online, fringe, offline conversation. I think it'll actually have documents saying, you guys are this, you guys are that. And we saw that with this election turnout. You saw the Latinos actually break down the difference between their votes, right? The difference between the Puerto Ricans, the Mexicans, the Cubans, the Venezuelans. They all broke it all down. So I do think it'll be more commonplace. Lineage based things will be more commonplace in 30 years from now.
Yeah, this is a beginning, and of something that should have happened a long time ago. Um, Again, back to the title, we weren't aware that we needed each other. We weren't aware that we were our own group. We were trained, and I was trained upon this, that America's one big melting pot. Seemingly, we were the only group that really bought into it. Although other groups played along, I later found out that they knew that they had to stick together. Who said that America's a race? Dr. Claude Anderson said America is a game of a race where people stick together. It's a team sport, and Dr. Claude Anderson basically said that blacks are the only ones that don't know that we're in a team sport, and we've been taught that we're walking around, we past tense, we've been walking around thinking that we're all the same. We're all part of a big melting pot. And everybody else is known, no, hell no, we not. But they'll play along, like the owners of the nail salons, the owners of the beauty supply shops. Hey, brother. Hey, soul brother. No, you're not my friend. You're saying that because you're using me. But we're catching on. We're catching on. And the real dangerous thing about that is once this really catches on, this is going to change the economy because so many groups are survival depends on our ignorance. I mean, their absolute survival. How must that feel to know if black people just woke up like you would go out of business? That's where all that resentment's coming from. Indy.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that, like I really think we got to focus in on the Republican Party at the same time. Like we can't let them off the hook because all this talk about, oh, black people voted this, they did this. Okay, well, somebody need to honor them votes. You know what I'm saying? And I just really feel like I watched Steve Bannon when he came out of jail and he did that first press conference. And the way he talked about how he really understand black folks and Puerto Ricans and everybody he had made relationships and had talks with in jail, even though I know it wasn't 100% genuine, some of that was true of what he was saying that he learned. So I would like to call them on that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they're gonna be trying to sell you JD Vance or another Republican in the next 4 years. Or matter of fact, at the midterms and shit. Like that shit gonna be real important. So I think we really got to, hold these Republicans' feet to the fire to see if that same red wave is gonna continue in 2026 at the midterms. We can't just give that to them just because we mad at the Democrats right now. Like we really need to get something
And
out of this. Is my
I
take
don't
on it.
mind. I don't mind giving it to him because I'm mad at the Democrats. What's not going to change is I'm going to continue to be mad at the Democrats. So they can't do anything with me. I broke up with them and I'm not going to make up. So here's the deal. I like what I'm hearing so far about the deportations. We'll see if those happen. Deportations are job creations for everybody in America. Okay. So
Right.
let's just take it step by step. Some of the things that we're complaining about with the economy can be corrected by some of the things that we're hearing. It's not directed at us, but I'd rather get something than nothing because the other way, if I vote for Kamala, I can get an abortion every weekend. Isn't that fun? Doesn't everyone want to have regular abortions? Okay. What are they offering? Men and women's swimming pools, abortions, penises hanging out in the women's restroom.
Wow.
What is their platform? Penises? There's penises hanging out all over the place, right? I don't see what their platform is. Anybody know? Cause I
Yeah,
don't.
so suppressing heterosexual penises.
I guess so. They don't want to see any of those. They want to see penises with dresses around them, and they want them to be out in the women's dressing room. Okay? And I don't. So therefore, I don't want to see them anymore, and I'm never going to vote for them because they actually had that as one of their agenda agenda notes. So no, you're done. So if a third party pops up and they sound like there's something interesting, then maybe we'll check that out. I don't know. It doesn't look like third parties do very. Did they get 1%? Did a third party individual get at least 1%? Because when I looked, it was 0.2% and 0.5. They couldn't even get 1% of the vote. So that didn't look good.
I think Jill Stein got about 1%.
Oh wow. She's really hot stuff. I don't know why the third party gets no percent, but that's something else. Okay, who is next? That's something.
Yeah, so I was gonna say real quick, um, the mass deportations are a must, and I think they're very serious about it because the very first people he announced was that the Hoffman guy, and I remember him from way back. I was watching a congressional hearing, and he told AOC, which is something I've always known, which I thought was amazing, that these people aren't asylum seekers; they're criminals because to seek asylum you have to do it through a port of entry. So if you break the law, get in the country, you know it's kind of wrong. Also, people who have been working in this country illegally, I mean, well, you know, with their visa status, whatever, extended visa status, whatever, when they get deported, that actually helps the economy a lot because that means they pay Social Security, they pay into Medicare, but when they get deported, they don't have any claims to that money. So that goes right back into the pot for American citizens. So this is a very huge economic boost that we're about to see. Also, just in general, border security is very important. And I don't think it's one of those things, and explain this to my cousins, because for some reason they think it's all about who likes who. Neither one of these groups like us. I don't think we need to be disillusioned with that, right? It's about us as a community looking at the federal government and saying, hey, I got to do something about these illegal immigrants, right? Then you have Caucasian people, you have Jewish people, you have people from all over different groups who happen to be American are all against the government saying the same exact thing. We don't have to hold hands and be kumbaya about the shit. We all know what the problem is. And as long as we know what the problem is and they know what the problem is, we can force our government to act on that as a unit. Again, that's not saying we're friends. We're all just saying the same thing at the same time. So that means there has to be a problem. So that the government is now going to do what they're supposed to do and act on that problem, right? Now, what this does for us and other smaller groups is we can actually create a bidding war for our vote, tangibles. Well, what are you going to do for us, right? And that's the resounding message we sent to the Democratic Party. So they got to go back to the drawing board, which I don't think they will be for another 4 or 5 years because they still think half the country is racism. So once they get over their feelings being hurt, then they'll have to come back to the table with tangibles, which is why delineation is so important. You can't hit us with that catch-all people of color bullshit because not only are we refusing that, the Latins are refusing it as well. So we need to keep that shit going. That's just a strategy thing. My bad, I didn't mean to ramble too much.
But you know what I want to say to that? You said you think that they think that the country is racist. They don't think that at
Yes,
all.
they do.
That's a
They honestly
projection.
believe that,
No, that's a projection, and it's also a part of their agenda.
bro.
They
They,
are
they actually believe
unwilling
that.
to.
They literally believe it.
No, that's what their constituents actually believe.
Then
But
that's
them
them. What are
at
you
the
talking
top,
about,
no, corporate doesn't believe that. They know what they're doing. They know full and well what they're doing, and especially their donors. They know what they're doing. This is a part of their
bro? These
agenda.
people are
When, when,
on
when,
TikTok
when,
crying,
when
cutting their hair off, saying they live in a country full of
yeah,
Nazis.
those are their constituents. Yeah, those are low hanging
Again,
fruit.
they believe half the country's racist.
But when okay, when you go to these HBCUs and you pledge Greek fraternity and all of that, usually they getting weak people, right? People who are
But this has nothing
followers,
to do with what I was talking about.
people who got no power. But listen to what I'm saying though. First of all, people who feel powerless. So they know that they're indoctrinating weak ass people who are feeling emboldened with power upon their agenda. So them at the top, they know exactly what they're doing.
That
What they
that was a
are
mistake.
in is in denial. What they are in is they're in denial. They're in denial about thinking that black people done what they asked, or in a large part of Hispanics is done with them because they really they really, I mean, they believe their lie, but them at the top, they know exactly what they're doing. Don't be fooled by
Yeah,
that. You have
again,
to,
if you indoctrinate a group of people, right? That group of people have no clue they're indoctrinated. They believe they're doing the right thing. That's why they fight so strongly for it. These people feel
no, I
so
agree with you on that
strongly in
part.
what they believe that they're willing to cut their hair off, go online, scream and yell. They're not doing this for attention. They actually believe this shit. So when they say that they believe half the country is racist, that is not a joke. They actually believe that. It's foolish to think anything other than that.
Yeah, those are their constituents.
And
You
they
know,
believe
those are the
half the
people
country
that,
is racist. What are you talking about?
What was that group
oh,
though? Because I
them.
saw them and I thought it was a joke.
No, they believe that shit. One.
I mean, what is that a particular group that shaved their heads?
Caucasian women, those
But
people.
they
But
were all
they're
dressed
all the same.
alike. They're
You said
they're
what now?
they're look. They were all dressed alike, and I don't know. They just look like Heaven's Gate.
Yeah,
It's a clip of
serial
this.
feminists, occult.
This is a clip of this Princeton professor at Princeton, one of those Ivy League schools, right? Black dude, blue glasses, just in case you didn't know he was Democrat. And they were talking about why the Democrats lost the election. And the lady was saying, well, bacon is more expensive, eggs is more expensive. And she was like, if you live in rural America, you give a fuck about pronouns, you concerned about why shit is so expensive. This man looked her in the eyes and said, I cannot believe that. I refuse to believe that. It's like, so you refuse to believe that people are going to put your feelings above their wallets? Like, they actually believe that half the country is racist. And it's not even just like, oh, it's not even a meme. They really believe
They're
that
out
shit.
of touch, totally out of
Thank
touch.
you. That's what it is. Thank you, Professor. They're the elites now. So in their minds, eggs is nothing because they make $250,000 a year. For the average person living on $35,000 a year with 3 kids, that $10 thing of eggs, that's a life changing decision. So of course they don't see it the same way we see it. And then which leads them to believe the only logical conclusion is half the country's racist. Even the 20% of black men. Either racist, misogynist, whatever buzz term they throw on people. The problem is the left has spent so much time demonizing people who disagree with them versus just understanding a simple disagreement. If Professor is a Cowboys fan and I'm not, I mean, I'm gonna look at him a little different, but not to say he's a complete, loser because he's a Cowboy fan. But I just like, oh, that's kind of strange, and that's it. It's literally just, oh, it's a strange choice of a football team. That's all you would say about that, right? But no, they would say, oh, he's a Hitler, he's a demon, he's evil, and it's like, well, it's not even that deep. It's just he just likes a different football team. That's all. But they don't see it that way. They have to go to the extremes, and since they live in the extremes, everything they do is an extreme, which is why you see these people cutting their hair off and shit like that.
They're insane.
The very definition of it.
Definitely.
I saw some black women talking about, oh, we ain't having sex. I'm like, you know what?
Nobody cares.
Right.
And they was ugly as hell saying it. So that shit was funny to
Huh.
me.
Well, I mean, I just thought it
I
was
saw
dope
it
that
too.
they finally decided to. These a lot of women got on TikTok and said, "Hey, we're not having sex till marriage, and we're wearing protection, and because we don't want to have your babies." And like, oh, there we go. Thank you. That's what we've been preaching this whole time. There we go. So it's
Yeah,
never
yeah.
changed or
You see
interpreted.
that bit? He said, "Oh, it took that to convince you to stop. But it took that to convince you to stop being
Well,
a
it's
hoe."
good
Like,
news then, huh? I thought HIV was
no,
was going to slow people down, but instead there's a whole thought culture. So that was wrong. See, they don't work with logic. Go ahead,
No, they run their thoughts to their feelings.
Americana. Did you have something to say?
Yeah, I mean, I came back on the speaker section, but I've been listening, and I agree with obviously the politics of that what you
This is a
guys been
white man,
talking
by the
about.
way.
Right. 'Cause he damn sure don't sound
He's
like no
white.
Nigerian.
Oh,
no, he's a teller.
oh,
No, that's a white.
he's white.
That's a white man.
Americana, are
Yeah,
you white?
no, I'm not white. Like I said, I'm an Igbo man.
You
I'm
don't
one Igbo.
sound Igbo.
Waffle.
You sound
That's
You
okay. I
really
mean,
don't.
that's fine. That's okay that I don't sound Igbo. That's
where are
okay.
you?
Yeah, I got a question. Where are your what country's your family from? Your mom from?
Well, can I finish what I was
No,
gonna
answer the
say
No.
question, bro.
before?
You can't just let.
Hold up. What country's your mother from?
My mom is from Igbo land
Where's that?
in West Africa.
What about your dad?
He's also from Igbo land.
Ebo land.
They were born 15 minutes away from each other.
What country is that?
That's in West Africa.
Yeah, what country in West Africa?
Why does it keep saying West?
Yeah,
Because
Cause he
Igbos, if you know
lying.
anything
Cause
about Igbos,
he hiding something, just like that boy.
So
I've
if
been
we
I'm
I've
not
been
hiding
I've
either way,
been
anything.
all over West Africa. I ain't never heard of Ebo land. What?
so if we looking at an international map, what would it be on an international map?
It'd be in southeastern Nigeria,
I know
Biafra
where
land.
it
Okay,
is, but I don't know why he kept saying.
Well, because
Nigeria.
just like you, I mean, I don't. It's
this is a white man.
I don't know why, like you're choosing actively
You, I'll tell you why. I'll
to.
tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Okay,
You
go
ready for
ahead.
this?
Go
You up
ahead.
here, no profile picture, right? It
Yeah.
says
Mhm.
liberty or death. That's not how Nigerians talk. And then
Okay.
two,
I'm not
your
a
page is
Nigerian. I'm not Nigerian,
your
by the way, Kanye.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
you
whatever.
are. You just said you was.
No, I said that I'm Igbo. See,
No, you.
Here's
so
the
if
troll. He wants to troll. This is the troll. This is what he
I'm
wants to do.
not
He wants to say,
Oh,
"Oh, I didn't say
trolling
that."
you. I'm not
So he can
trolling you.
start
You're just
trolling.
not allowing me to speak. I mean,
where are
No,
Igbo
no, no.
people from?
Igbos are generally from West Africa.
I know. Well, how are you not from there now? Do you know how lineages work?
W- If you
Do
would allow me
Africans
to
think
explain
if they
myself,
can just. I
if you
can
would allow me to,
understand.
okay,
Shh.
all right,
I
go
can
ahead. You can speak for me.
understand.
Go ahead, speak for me.
Okay.
Go ahead. It's your space.
Okay. Great. I can understand why Africans want to leave so badly because the concept in their head is if they could just get their raggedy butts out of Africa, they can be Swedish, they can be French, they can be anything. It's like magical. You just get on a raft, sail it across the oceans and seas, and you can be a whole new ethnicity.
Am I a part of the raggedy people that you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, all
This is a
right.
white man.
Japa.
What's the Igbo word for father?
Nah,
Yeah, you did your research. This is a white man though.
I'll put all research, bro. I don't know. Okay, I'll put
This
all
is a white man.
research. I'll put all research. All right. Well, the
I'm just
initial
trying to figure
submission that
out
I
where you learn that accent at, though. Real
Me
talk.
too, because that's not
Just
which
hanging out with
Nigerian.
accent?
some white boys.
What you
That
mean which accent? I'm talking about
thank
the one you've been
thank
talking in the whole time,
thank
motherfucker.
God that he doesn't sound like us. So keep on going to those schools and sounding like white boys because you both don't have any swag. So yeah, keep it over there. You can
I
come
don't
to
have any swag. I don't.
no you
So the
don't.
question.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we know,
You
Okay.
sound
motherfucker.
like
Okay.
a
Well,
cornball.
that
Hey, so
okay.
question
All
for
Enjoy.
you:
right.
if you see that
I'm
we
just wondering.
real quick
Is
question
it
for you:
like
if
because
you see that
I really
if you see
the,
everybody's
the
talking over you, right? Everybody's talking over you. You really don't care what you got to say. What's the point of you
I
just standing on
understand that.
stage?
Mm.
It's clearly we own your game. We clearly don't want to hear what you got to say, but you still on stage. Now, that's either one or two things. You either have the patience of the saint, or you're trolling.
No, I'm not trolling. I mean,
Definitely a troll, bro.
I
Definitely a
think the
troll.
question that I was gonna ask you just answered it. To be honest, so
There
I
you
I
go.
want
So
to
appreciate
you have
that.
a
know.
nice weekend.
I want to know
No, I appreciate that. I
how do
I
appreciate you
you
don't
guys.
know now Nigerian that sound like that, and I don't know a lot of Nigerians, yo.
I know a lot of them.
Well,
None of
that's
them sound
okay.
like that.
I'm
No,
trying
None
to
of them
find out
motherfuckers
how
sound
he's
like that,
not
cuz.
Nigerian. You
you,
have
I
a
mean,
Nigerian
you've
mother.
literally insulted someone you don't
Okay.
even know who I
You
am, but
have
you're
a
insulting me.
Nigerian mother and a Nigerian father, but you are not
My mom and
Nigerian.
my mom and my dad would not consider themselves Nigerian. They would consider themselves Igbo people. Igbo
Okay.
people. That's what they, if
But
you
they're
ask
from
my mom and my
Nigeria though,
dad, you
right?
can. Igbos are generally in West Africa, and Igbos, if you know anything about Igbos, they don't claim Nigeria like that.
But
They
you
Okay.
don't
just
claim
said
Nigeria.
it's southeastern
They
Nigeria,
don't
ain't that
care.
what
They
you
just
said?
make up
The
stuff. They just be
well
making up
the
stuff at this point.
all right. Well, I guess look. I
You,
mean, I
you
guess you could
said
just
you
insult
said
me.
Igbo land was in Nigeria, correct?
Well, to be honest, no. I mean,
He doesn't care. He's just making up
No, but
whatever.
yeah,
I
did you
guess at
say
the end
that
of the
though? That's
day,
what you said though, right?
I guess at the end of the day, like, and I
He'll be
don't think this is
Chinese next
representative.
week.
I don't even think this is
At
representative
the
of
end of
Black
the day,
American
Wani, the
culture.
day must end.
I don't even think this
I
is
heard,
I
I
don't think how
heard,
you're acting is
Hey,
actually
Americano,
representative
you
of
from
Black
Germany,
American
right?
culture, to be
I
Aren't
heard
honest.
you from
that the
But
Germany?
that's okay.
Igbos is seeking their own state. What's going on with that?
Americano, did you say you from Yo, yo, Germany? yo, yo. Don't ask me no questions
I
about that,
speak
okay?
German. I
I
But you
speak
say,
bet
German.
you do.
but
You
you from
guys
Germany,
have
right?
to speak
I,
all
I,
those languages so
I'm
you
not
can.
from Germany, but I do speak German.
Why do you
Uh,
speak
Lu-
German?
Lugan Preston.
Why do you speak German? Were you over there begging in German?
They're begging in
He's from
Yeah,
German.
Germany.
yeah. That's why
Was
you
I over
guys
there
know all
begging?
those languages.
Was
We know one
I,
language and we
was
know
I
it
over
very
there
well.
begging?
We
Oh,
don't,
was I over there begging in Germany?
yeah,
What?
God.
that's, oh,
Do you insult most people that you don't know
e-
that you've spoken to for the
e-
first time? You just insult them. You start just
yes,
insulting them for no
yes,
reason,
on the
Just
app I do.
Americano,
despite
just
how
leave,
polite they are
bro.
to
I'm
you, right? Despite how
multilingual.
polite they
I just
are.
spoke German to you.
I
Was
didn't. I didn't.
los
I didn't hear what you said. I
Americano,
was too
just
busy
leave.
getting insulted by the lady here.
Was
I,
ist los,
I'm not
Liberal?
We're
insulting
gonna have
you.
to
Is
bring
it
up the tether
Was ist mein
slave.
Wasser?
Americano, just
I'm
leave
just
Hold
letting
on.
you
over
know we're
here.
on to the game.
Hold on,
Bring up
hold
the
on.
tether slayer.
I removed him. Become an agent of chaos. So yeah. Anyway, all right. Let's see who is next.
Boy, that damn tether juice be boy. Lord have mercy.
Man. Um, I think it was who was next? Mr. Rogers.
I
What's on
don't
your
even
mind?
see anybody's hands.
Yeah, how y'all doing tonight, man?
Really.
Hello.
So the topic is Americans, like, are we aware of the enemies? And I
Hold on one second. I got a question for you. What's your lineage?
oh no, I'm black. I'm born and raised in America.
Just a little drunk, huh?
Hold on. Where's your mom's? Where's your mom from?
My mom, from a we got blood in the soil.
Oh
My
my Lord.
my great grandma was a slave and all that kind of stuff.
What you drinking on
Is
the
this
night,
your
sweetheart?
first time thinking about it?
Well,
From
What you drinking on the night?
First of
from
all,
where? Your
I'm
grandma was from where?
from North Carolina.
And where
Tequila
was?
land. City and state, please.
Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
Okay. What about granddaddy?
He's from the same Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
Oh, I know
okay.
what that is. I'm from North Carolina. What's your stud name?
My
Oh,
stud. Oh boy,
wait a minute. Are you dating on the stage again?
my stud name. I'll answer.
Nah,
Well, why you ask me that question, yo? I'll answer.
nah,
I have.
nah.
It's
I
it's
see your name and
obvious.
say Mister something, but I was trying to see. You sound like a woman, so I was trying to see.
Yeah,
It's a video, viral video going around where this lady she walks up on a bunch of studs and she asks them their real name and what their stud name is.
yeah.
I
I
just
see.
thought
Big Row.
it's just funny, you know.
Yeah, it is
Oh
kind of
my
funny.
goodness.
No, my name is a play off of. I don't know if anyone's old enough to remember Mr. Rogers.
We know
Remember?
Mr.
The
Rogers.
guy that paints, yeah.
He doesn't really paint, but
He's a good neighbor. You thinking about a Bush guy?
he
Now he
Mr.
thinking
Rogers,
about
the neighbor,
Bob.
right? So what's the
Bob
difference?
Bob
It's all right.
Ross.
You
Bob.
thinking about Bob Ross?
No, not
He thinking
Bob.
about Bob.
No, but yeah. So
You drunk right now?
no, I'm not drunk. I'm just very comfortable in my house.
Okay, so what's your real name and then what's your stud name?
I'm not gonna give you my real name, but I don't have a stud name either. They just call me.
You just said you did though,
What's happening?
Well,
because you just said you give it to him. But why was he asking? Now you saying you don't have one.
yeah,
Let's give her a stud nickname right now.
Boy, the
I'm not gonna
delineation
do
is
it.
I'm gonna
real
keep
up in this
telling
one.
Big cup,
Wait,
because you hold a cup.
is she a stud?
you. The stud name is I don't have a stud name. That's the
Are
name.
you a stud?
I guess if we gotta put it in a box, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, profile
Oh my
picture
What kind of
is
stud
cool.
dance
God.
do you
if
do?
I walk
When you do your stud dance, what kind of
How is
dance do you do?
anybody gonna flirt with you like
Yo, is
that?
that smooth? Yo, you funny as hell, dude.
huh?
Yeah, this Lowski. What's up, man?
Nah, you funny.
No scare.
Anyway, what are we
Yeah.
talking about? What are we talking about in here?
Who'd you vote
We
for?
talking about the importance of lineage.
Oh yeah, that shit is important. And fucking, I just want to say Kamala. I voted for Kamala. I didn't.
Oh, that's
Congratulations.
Oh,
nasty.
here we
Oh
go. Here we
Lord.
go.
How's it feel to be a
Yeah,
loser?
we knew you voted for Kamala.
God damn it, we knew it.
Listen.
No.
I almost cried at the
I
ballot. I
want. I
did not.
want to hear. I
You
want to
should
hear
have.
why.
No.
I think I know why, but
We
I want
already
to hear.
know.
I'm
We
gonna.
already know why.
I voted for her because I just wanted
Because
to.
you lead with your sexuality.
No,
You believe in turning kids into women, right?
yeah.
No, what?
You think
Why did you
Yeah.
you
vote
think
for it?
Kamala fine, don't you? You think she fine?
What what
That's the main reason
policies
when I
did
asked
you
her.
what
Boy, that nigga
policies
smooth,
did you
stupid,
like?
boy.
Oh,
Are y'all drinking tonight? I should be asking y'all that. And shit,
No, we
Hell
sober as a
yeah, we
bird.
is, man.
smoking.
Nigga, I'm sober, nigga.
Nah,
You
what
came here and
policies
misread
of
the title. I knew you was lit in. You said you
Nah, but I voted for Kamala because
we know.
out of
because
desperation.
what?
Out of
Because what?
out of desperation, because it was like,
Desperation? For what?
You want to have an abortion too?
Yes,
Nah, I
you
want
need
to
to have
hear
an
this.
abortion.
Hold
well,
on. Let her
I'm
speak.
about to
You
say, cause
gotta
she
think,
ain't finna have no.
how you
Wait a
gonna need
minute,
an
I'm
abortion?
confused. I'm see, I
Yes,
done got
because
confused
lesbians
again.
have more
you sound
children than the
confused.
regular women.
You
How
sound
does
confused.
that happen?
What was going on?
Why do lesbians have more children than regular women? How is that happening?
I don't
Talk
know.
talk about confused.
I have no idea.
How many kids you got?
I have zero.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have any kids. I can't afford them.
Mm-hmm.
Do
So
you want? Do you want to
Gotta
have any?
keep them daily abortions going.
no, actually, if you must know, my uterus had to be taken out. So yeah, I can't have kids, even if I wanted to. So um, on that note, I
R.I.P. to the
I'm
Buddhists.
I'm sorry to hear that. R.I.P. to your uterus.
that's what I say. And you know what? It looks. When they take it out.
We
You
don't
know
need
the
to know
thing
all
about
that.
football is Jerry Jones is a terrible owner, but I got to give it to him. The Philadelphia Eagles have a very nice black and green set. But anyway, another note for a different day. Hey, I just got a question for you. So when you went to go cast that ballot for Kamala Harris, right?
Yeah.
Did you believe that you were walking in the footsteps of Rosa Parks?
No, it wasn't that serious voting for Kamala.
Gotcha. So did you believe he was walking in the footsteps of the lady that married that Mao guy from China?
I didn't even.
Wait a minute, you got your uterus yoked out on
This
purpose?
nigga here.
Hold up.
No,
Is
no,
that what
no.
you went the extra step, huh? You took Dyke into a whole different level.
Well, see, you sound really ignorant and stupid, but I don't. You don't know my doctor, so um,
It's all good. You ain't got to respond to that. But I did want to ask you a question, though, right? So earlier you said you voted for Kamala, right? Now, do you think it was your duty as a black woman to do that, or you voted for her based on her policies and her glowing smile?
well, I didn't really like her policies.
What are her policies? Do you know?
Well, she doesn't really have one for Black Americans.
What about anybody? What policies does she have for anyone?
Well, she has some great policies for the
What?
Mexican. You know what I'm saying?
Like
What?
what?
Just giving them stuff?
Yeah, basically,
That's
basically.
not a policy. That's crime. She's trying
That's
to
It's
get
called
what.
votes.
welfare.
No. Why you
He's
care
a
Called
about the
fucking
cheating.
Mexicans? Just
criminal.
Black
It's
Americans.
called cheating, trying to get votes by buying them. Like she bought Oprah Winfrey's dumbass, and she bought Beyonce for $10 million. If we saw the receipts today,
I'm
Making it
not mad
save
at
for 3 million.
Beyonce.
That's
she
a
bought
crime.
she bought Oprah for $1 million. Oprah probably that was probably just Oprah's purse money. That's her Hermes bag, her Hermes bag money. Cause yeah,
Walking around money.
yeah,
Hey, but
she
one is
wanted to
she
go
gave
over there
Megan
anyway.
and Lizzo $3 million each.
Yeah,
Right.
You heard about that?
yeah.
That's
See,
I'm
crazy.
not mad at Beyonce.
she had to
Beyonce got
pay.
paid $10 million for two
I'm
weeks.
not mad at any of them, bro.
No,
Get that pay,
she
get the money.
Look,
Beyonce
that's
that
the 20
proves.
million that she claiming she in debt behind. The
Hold on,
shit
Indy.
she
I can't
gave
hear. What you
niggas.
say?
But see,
What you
that
say, Wani?
proves that Oprah wanted to do it because Oprah could have demanded 50 million, and it also proves that Beyonce didn't want to do it. Like we could see, she looked like she was being drug up there on a leash. Wonder how much she paid Usher.
Yeah,
They had to
then they had
negotiate.
Kelly up there looking like Lori Lightfoot in a
Yeah.
Dick Tracy motherfucking
I
suit.
think Usher they just showed him that tape, that Diddy tape. Like,
Dick
bro, you
Yeah,
Tracy
ain't
Usher
is
getting
looked
nothing.
like he was under duress, and Beyonce looked like she was under duress. And
But one, you know they didn't offer her 10 million to
Dr.
start
Dick
with. They
Tracy.
negotiated that. Jay Z was like, "Nah, nigga, you talking about five? Nah, 10. Like 10, this shit go out there."
Yeah,
Hey, you know the
you
funny
know
part
Jay
about it?
did that.
You know the funny part about it is Usher went on national TV on The View and told them he don't get into politics and
right,
That's not his realm. And they drug his goofy ass right back out there to that same show a couple months later. He endorsed Kamala Harris like a motherfucker.
That was
You gonna do this
so
here, nigga? We gonna get
embarrassing.
Yeah, they started asking him questions about them Diddy tapes, and
No,
that
they
Mm-hmm.
ain't asked him
motherfucker
shit.
had to come
They
back
ain't asked
out.
him goddamn
Mm-hmm.
thing. They pulled him into a room, set him down, and he'd play. He was
Mm-hmm.
like, "What do you want?"
hit play.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Donald Trump,
See,
since we do got him, I,
Hey,
I,
We talking about Kamala, baby girl.
Mr. Rogers, why do you care
You
about the Mexicans though? You said you brought up the Mexican. You're a black American. Why you care
they
about
doing things
Mexicans?
for
Allegedly.
Mexicans.
Man, when you read her name as Mr. Rogers, like that shit throw me
yeah,
off.
you
I just,
embarrassing yourself by saying you voted for her and the
Hey,
reasons
that's
why.
a pronoun. That's what she want to be called, Mr.
Hey,
Rogers.
what was your
So,
MOS?
no,
Mr. Rogers,
huh?
Mr.
Yo,
Rogers,
it's already been
question for you.
explained, yo. Mr.
Question for
To
you.
take off of the show, like you don't got to be confused no more. I don't.
No, it's all good. What was your MOS though? You say you in the army.
Question for you, Mr. Rogers. Question for you.
Yeah.
You said that you did not vote for Kamala because of policy. So what? Why did you vote for her? You could tell the truth, and we're not trying to judge you here. I really just want to know why you voted for her if it wasn't about policy.
Well, I just voted because I didn't want to see the orange guy, And not only that, it was like my ancestors died. My ancestors died to vote, and it was just like a
No, they
disservice.
didn't.
Oh well, to me, it
We
did.
all we all have the we all got the right to vote, and we also have the right to not vote.
Yeah,
I have the right to marry white men. Somebody was fighting in courts to marry white people and black people together, correct? But that doesn't mean I have to do it, does it?
well, we're not talking about you, man.
We
White people.
also have the right to have a driver's license, but
Your
everybody
uterus. Okay.
everybody
I
doesn't
thought you.
want to have a driver's license. Everybody doesn't want to drive.
I'm
We
talking
have a
about
lot of rights. And just because you have a right doesn't mean that you have to do it. Yes, we did fight for the right to vote.
and died. A lot of people died too. You know.
We died for civil rights.
hmm So you
Yeah, we
get
didn't we didn't die for the right to vote
Yeah,
for
we died
people
over
black
civil
facing us.
rights.
Yeah, we
Uh,
didn't.
so
we died for civil rights. We didn't specifically die to vote. We got irritated and hosed and attacked when we were voting, but that's not the point. The point is we have that right no matter what, and no one can take that away. But
well,
that
I
doesn't mean
decided.
we have to throw the vote over to somebody because you think they like you.
No, no, no. Whoa, back up.
So
Pump your brakes now.
you don't think that deporting millions of people from the country is a benefit to Black Americans?
Well, I wouldn't mind, to
Okay,
be
but so
honest.
that is
That wasn't the
one
question.
thing that you want to happen, correct?
Listen,
No, you answer the question. That's one thing that you want to happen, correct?
well, more than ever, being that
That's one thing that you want to happen, correct?
I mean, I wouldn't cry about it.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
you either do you want that to happen or you don't.
yeah, if they're
Okay,
legal, they.
so that's one thing that uh, Republicans are willing to do. They're
Okay,
willing to
great.
do a lot of tweaks on the whole immigration process, closing the border, deporting people, rolling back birthright citizenship. They're willing to do a lot of things that would help Black Americans. But what is Kamala? What was she willing to do? Because she rolled her dumbass Hindu neck around and said she wasn't willing to do anything for
I was
Black
just about to get to that
Americans.
one.
How?
I was
But
just about to get
you
to that.
want to roll your ass over there and get up in her face based on what? Based on
Well,
what?
based on the fact that, honestly,
You don't like the orange guy. You need to
no,
really go somewhere and think about how your brain works.
Uh,
Optical
yeah,
Mi-
illusion of inclusion.
Mr. Rogers, may I say? May I just call you Rogers? How do you feel about how do you feel about Kamala lying about being a Black American?
y'all related, y'all cousins, because y'all like jumping on
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no.
We
I
all
ain't trying
You're
to
family.
jump
We
on you.
bullying.
I'm
family.
This
just
is
asking.
called bullying you, just like we were bullied for voting with our brains and not our sexuality. And oh, I might get a perk because
Oh,
I'm a dyke, or I
Black
might get
men
a
are
perk.
stupid.
Yeah, we
Lady,
didn't even get to choose a Democratic candidate to be in the
Yeah,
damn shit. Like that.
that woman was put a funnel down your fucking throat and poured her ass down your neck. And you said, "Thank you.
Hot.
Can I have some goddamn more?"
And
How
then
does
on
that
top of that,
feel? How does
How do
that
you feel
Power.
about
feel?
her lying about being black? How do you feel about Kamala
She
lying
got
about her
caught with a
being black?
fake black grandmother picture when it was really the maid. Then
That
she
was
said, "Well,
sick.
I'm black by love." She is a lying cow. She is
yes,
a
yes.
no,
lying
call her what she
cow.
is, one, and she a heifer. That's a heifer.
Is Grandma Rogers washing the greens in the bathtub this Thanksgiving?
I don't know.
No,
That's a
Kamala
good
threw
one
all
right
them
there.
greens in the garbage. The second she found out she didn't win, she got rid of all them greens.
I just want to know real quick.
And left
If
their
we
ass
What
out
middle
there at the
class
White
person you know
House.
would have made?
if your grandma do the greens in a tub, I'm not eating at your house for sure, bro.
I
That's
wouldn't eat that anyway.
nasty.
Yeah, real quick, Wani, question for you, Professor Nikki. Anybody wants to answer this? What middle class motherfucker you know can afford to buy a maid?
Yep.
Yep.
Mikhail in the audience now. He got maids. Mikhail, come on up
That's
and tell everybody
that's
about your maid,
He's
That's
not
Nah,
middle
he
Mikhail.
class,
crazy.
is he?
rich.
Let me
That
send
nigga
Mikhail a
rich.
mic
Wait,
so he can talk
does
to
he
us
claim to
about
be
his
middle class
maid.
though?
Yeah, them ain't no maids.
Hey,
I want to
hey,
be clear about this,
She in
right?
Africa, yeah, that's
Nah,
something
But,
else.
but real quick,
oh
Mr.
boy.
Rogers, because
Oh
I don't want to
boy.
misgender you.
I want to see them pay
Interesting.
stubs,
There's so
Kev.
much more than maids. I promise.
To the
I,
Rogers person down there, I don't want to misgender you or nothing, but don't you find it strange that Kamala ran on being a middle class kid? Um, but she would literally raised $1 billion and bought all the support in the world from the top elite rich celebrities. Meanwhile, her opponent was hopping out of garbage trucks and taking selfies with fishermen and shit like that. I just find it a bit strange, don't you?
yeah, first of all, I find you rude as fuck. As far as the misgendering part, I'm a woman, so
You got Mister in your title.
Mister, yo, you, I, you slow, man. You.
I'm
Nah,
slow. I
it's
don't want to misgender you. That's
confusing.
all
Your
I said.
name is confusing. They got to go to your profile to see, and then it's like you want
How,
to.
how many
Don't be
seconds?
mad
Wait,
at
I'm
us
just
because
trying to
we
figure out how am
confused
I
by your
rude.
name. Like, don't.
I'm not confused, but you just stupid
I think
because if you go, you know
Wait,
ain't
what?
wait,
that the
hold on.
purpose to
I'm not talking
confuse
to
Hold
you.
us?
on,
Hold
Nikki. Hold
up.
on. Let
I
me get it
thought.
straight. So you saying that we're stupid because we can read?
All right. Anyway, I want to
Because I'm
give.
just trying to figure it out.
That's
Because
how the
like I hear
logic
a
See,
voice.
works.
that's this whole confusion. That's this whole
This is
thing
why the
right here.
Democrats lost.
Exactly. Exact. There you go.
Because your name clearly say Mister. Your voice say ma'am. So I'm asking you which one you prefer to be called. I'm actually doing you a favor.
I need you to do me a favor and stop talking to me, please. At this point, because
Well, I do think I hear you, and it is your right to not want to speak to me. However,
keep it
this is the
moving.
family stage. I'm part of
Yeah,
the family. You the guest here. We don't
I
wash
don't
our
care.
greens in the bathtubs.
I don't
We can
care.
count by twos and tie our shoes. So,
I'm,
just one more question for you before you go.
I'm
Do you want
not
to be
going.
called
Now,
ma'am or
Mister
Mister?
Rogers, you've been more ugly with us than we are with you. Now, at this point,
Well, you've been
I feel like
insulting me the whole time. What the
I
hell?
haven't been
What
insulting
insult have
you.
you received?
I
See,
haven't heard anybody insult you.
I
Yeah, I'm
think I
confused.
did.
We're calling you by the name. Yeah, one did, but we're calling you by we calling you by the name that you created yourself for your profile.
And just to
That's
be
what you're supposed
clear,
to do.
if you claim to be Black American, we roast each other all the time. We crack jokes. We talk shit about it. That's just the culture. Now
yeah.
you're not from the culture.
Listen, when I'm telling you that it's not funny, and I'm telling you that the name is in reference to a
I think
character
the
that.
Democratic Party has
It doesn't
weaknesses.
matter.
So
We got
like,
to call you what you
We
put
gotta
on your
call. We don't
profile.
know you refuse to give your real name. So all we see is Mister Rogers.
Yeah, and the character is a man, so I don't
You, you,
I'm
understand.
confused about that too.
you
And
want
you
my
got short hair.
you want my
is he
And
social
you said you
speaking?
was a stud.
you want my social security number too? I'm not gonna give you my real name.
The-
No, no, no. You
my
just
name on my profile is the name of my book.
tell
I'm
you
an
what.
author of a kid's book,
We'll just call you
so
Big R.
that's not my
Yes,
name.
do your
Yeah,
book plug
But
in the
people call
middle
me
of the
people
insulting.
people call me that.
yeah.
Go
I
ahead.
always
It's
knew
available
Mister
on
Rogers to
Amazon if
be
you
a
want some
man. I
notes.
did.
Yeah, well,
You so damn mean one.
Wait, why would you assume his gender like that, Los? I mean,
No, I'm
Angie.
trying to give him a book club shot.
Oh, I
I
thought you were
wasn't.
getting mad.
No, I wasn't. I
Because the
wasn't
Okay.
way
being.
the way Mister Rogers used to change sweaters and put his shoes on and shit, and like I really thought
Put it
Yeah.
in the
Why
jumbotron,
would you assume his gender? Because
Lowski.
apparently we can't see a man and a man can't call a woman a woman. So excuse the fuck out of me for asking a question. Apparently I'm being rude.
And she
So
calls herself Mr. Rogers' neighbor because lately people been sharing that video with Mr. Rogers singing "Boys are boys and girls are girls." That's all that is.
oh, I didn't even catch that. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay. Yeah, I didn't catch that either. I didn't look at her whole
No,
name.
no,
I'm
that's
sorry.
not funny.
I don't.
Boo. Joke's too long.
Did she cry when Kamala lost?
Yeah, she did. She said she cried in the booth. You seen that Plies video when he went outside, sound like a little goofy. Granny, I did it.
She
Granny, I did
cried
it. Go
in the
make him
booth.
oxtails like a loser. Was you and your granny making
She
oxtails like
said she
Plies and
cried
them
in the
had?
booth.
Yeah,
So she
Yeah,
cried while she was voting for her.
yeah,
She knew it was already over with.
I,
yeah. She dropped a tear on the ballot, so she
yeah,
circled it too. It's on Instagram. It got like 1,500 views.
yeah.
So,
Listen to
so
you.
let's say your real name, since you don't want to tell us, your real name is Keisha. What's your
Well,
stud name? What's your stud name?
Kyle,
my stud name is "Don't Talk to Me," please. Like if
Come
Timbo
on
says
now.
Kyle.
Every stud got a stud name now. Come on now.
nah, I don't have a stud name. I really don't.
So you
You
Big
just
just
go
said
by
you
Tony.
did
your real
earlier.
name.
It's
Earlier
Big
you
Okay.
said you
Tony.
did.
I'm telling y'all, it's Big Tony.
Big Tony.
I can tell. I can look at him and tell. What?
I
Hey,
can't
no,
hear
hey,
Big
jokes
Tony
aside.
though.
You guys
Hey, Indy, jokes aside, she did say she had one earlier. She said she's not gonna tell you. She said that, right?
Man, I
why
gotta drop down. I can't hear nobody.
y'all
Okay, come right back up.
y'all really pressed. But to the lady, what's your name? The
We're
one that
not, I'm not pressed, or we're not pressed. We
okay,
just want to understand the psychology behind voting for nothing. A
the
lying
psychology
ass
lesson.
woman
Yeah,
who
you
lied about her race. So you can't say you voted for her because she was black, because she was a lying ass Indian woman who
right.
wasn't black, who had to apologize. So at what point do you just say, you know what, I don't like Donald Trump, I'm just not going to vote? Why would you cast a vote for a lying ass hoe who thought her way up to the top, got shoved down your throat, never won any kind of election or primary? Like, she's not qualified. She couldn't even hold up on an interview.
Yeah.
What is it? She had to buy all of her endorsements. She had to get billions of dollars, and the dumbass lost in the most colossal failure ever seen in life. She
Okay.
turned the whole fucking country red.
Can I say
And
something?
it needs to stay red until you get your shits together. Because you ain't got nothing happen over on the blue side.
All right.
It needs to stay red. Y'all need a time out for another 20 years. Go sit down somewhere.
Not to mention, she,
Yeah,
she
yeah, they
almost
were
single handedly
punished.
turned California red.
The
That'd have been
Democrats,
impressive.
that was a punish. That was a straight up punishment, a purposeful punishment for the Democratic Party that they had coming. They deserved every bit of that ass whooping that they received.
But
All
Nikki,
right.
they can't believe that. They do not believe that. That's what the man got on TV.
They got an ass whooping from hell. When they said red wave and blue wave, whew, this was a fucking tsunami. Yes, I have cursed. They got
Belt to
completely
ass.
jacked
Washed.
up, and they paid for it. Look, they did everything. I found 14 ways that they cheated. They cheated so many different ways. It was crazy, and still lost. That
Okay.
means that Americans are not as stupid as I thought they were.
Can you take a breath? I have something to say.
I called it too. I had called it.
That
No, I
means
did
I saw a
not
lot of
call it.
belt to ass going on out there. A
I
lot
Mister
of
did
belt to
not
ass.
call it. I did not know at all. I had no premonitions, no idea. But all of a sudden, I started feeling giddy and happy. I was like, why am I happy and giddy? I must be delirious.
Yeah,
This
I think
election
you
must be
are.
getting
But
to me. And then all of a
listen,
sudden, it started coming in.
I got beef with what you said earlier. Like how you say you don't know nothing about me, but you came
Okay,
out of
what's
your
the
face.
problem?
And,
Hey,
no, no,
one
no,
is
wait,
off
wait, wait, wait,
limits.
wait.
Tony,
You can.
you
Wait,
you keep
wait.
your
What's the
I'm
problem? What did I
And
say,
that's
your little
Big
Luther?
Tony,
nasty
lost.
hairs off
And
our
that's Big
woman.
Tony. You forgot the big.
Okay,
whatever.
what did I
Listen,
say? What's the problem?
yeah, I don't, yeah, I'm about to tell you. I don't like the fact that you said I used my sexuality
Yeah, you
to
do.
vote for Kamala. How do you know that?
Because
How do you know?
all of you lesbians.
Oh my god, including you. You probably a closet lesbian. Like where
No,
the
I'm
fuck was
not. I don't need to be. If I was a lesbian, I'd be loud about it. Now, all of the lesbians, all the people that have to let us know their sexual preference, They can't help themselves. They have to be a Democrat. You have to be a Democrat. You have no choice. You have to
Well,
vote for deviancy.
no.
You have
Wow.
to. They're deviant and you're deviant, so you belong together. You can't help yourselves. You really have no home. And that's the
Wow.
problem. You don't have a home. Politically, you have no home because the Democrats need a timeout for 20 years. So I don't know who you're going to vote for.
Well, who are you gonna vote for, Mary Poppins?
Don't
I
worry
mean,
about
who?
it. It won't be a
Tony thinks she
Democrat.
slick. Thinks she gonna slid up in here and get the warning. It ain't
It
happening.
won't be a Democrat ever.
Hey, Smooth, what'd you say?
Said it ain't gonna happen.
Barking up the wrong tree, dog.
Hey, word
Really?
around the campfire is Kamala single now. They say her and old Doug ain't gonna make it.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
just the WNBA. Do not try the NBA. That's all I'm telling
Hilarious.
Mhm.
What are you talking about?
Like, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. I enjoyed y'all. Y'all been in here roasting.
Yeah.
This was
you. Hey,
interesting.
look, Professor, come on, man. Give us
Uh,
5 more minutes, yo. Real talk.
come on with it. Come on with it.
I gotta say, Wanda, you are hilarious. I'm over here laughing so much. And you
Yeah.
too, Mr. Rogers. You did a good job. I'm proud of you.
Well, was this a initiation or something?
Yeah, yeah.
A
Welcome to the
gym?
club. Welcome to the club. And all you gotta do now is go get some holy water, spray it. We'll fix you with a nice young man from the church. You can live life happily ever after. But you gotta buy Lowski book first. And Lowski, and then you gotta do a book reading. So y'all be sure to go
Yes.
cop that book. Um,
Did you put it
Thank you,
up in the
bro.
Jumbotron, Lursky?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
I
great.
sure did. Yep, and it's on sale right now for $24.99. Better get it while supplies
it's
last.
a great Christmas book. So you put the tablet down, pick up the book, teach them how to read. You with that, Mr. Rogers?
No comment, man.
I'm
Okay.
sending out free T-shirts right now too.
We got a nice young man for you.
I appreciate it, Professor and Wani and Nikki.
No doubt.
So now y'all gonna turn Mr. Rogers out. All right now.
No, 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 no. We're gonna send her on the path the good Lord wants her to be on.
Yo, I don't know what's going on in here, but I don't know if I like you guys or what. I know it's some trolling going on, so,
No, we're
but,
not trolling. I'm serious. You have no other way to vote. You have to be a Democrat.
and you sound like a lunatic, like straight up and down.
Didn't you
Wait,
vote
so
for
let
a
me get it straight.
Democrat?
No, you just
You
like how
voted
you
for a
talk.
Democrat, and she has absolutely no credentials for you to have voted for her. And you like the policies that Trump is talking about. On top of that, you like some of the policies that could come down, but you can't vote against the Democrats because they're the party of deviancy. And people
Well,
that
I
are
think,
deviant can't help but vote for them. They have no choice.
And you cried while you was doing it.
Yep.
yeah, I had a bucket with me, but yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll all see. We'll all see what.
Did you vote for Joe Biden last election?
What was in
I
it?
didn't.
Greens or curry?
Um, I actually sat it out. I sat that one out.
And you came out in flying colors for Kamala Harris, right?
Well, it wasn't flying colors. I was gonna sit this one out too. Actually, at the last minute, I went. You know what I
Gotcha. And
mean?
you went and you said, you know what? I'm gonna cast this vote for this Democrat, right?
Yeah, why were you gonna sit it out? I want to hear that.
Because none of them were talking about what I wanted to hear. Like it's all
But you
about
still decided to vote for the Democrat, right?
at the end of the day. Yeah, I mean,
So Wani's right. Damn it, Wani, you goddamn prophet. So Wani was right the whole time.
Yeah,
We went
so
all the way in that circle just for you to say Wani was right.
yeah, and what did she say that you wanted to hear that made you go vote for her at the last minute?
She's a Democrat.
you don't know what political party I am really,
You
but
just told us. You just told us you voted for a Democrat who
just
had no
because I
policies
voted,
that you didn't like.
just because I
So
voted, wait, pause. Just because I voted for a Democrat doesn't mean I'm a Democrat. You know what I
sure,
mean?
just because I'm a black man doesn't mean I'm a black man. Get the fuck out of here. Look, I don't. I'm just trying to figure this one out,
Yeah,
ma'am.
yeah.
You
If
just
you
said, it's all good.
if you voted for Democrat anyway, you were absolutely positively demonic. Like you got some demonic type of I don't know, you was probably possessed or something.
No,
And
this
you,
is the shit I be talking about. She
and
just
the,
got on stage with a straight face and said, "I didn't like none of their policies, but I voted for Kamala because she's a Democrat."
And
And
that shit
then,
is
when
sick.
being accused of being a Democrat, she said, "Oh, I'm not a Democrat."
I didn't say I voted for
Want to
her
make
because
sure some
I
men
voted
jump into
even
women's swimming pools. You want to make sure men's dicks are swimming all around the women's bathroom, in the
what
women's
the
dressing room.
hell
You
are
want to
you?
make sure that happens, don't you? You want to make sure everybody gets on puberty blockers, including me, and gets run up out of town and has their boobs cut off and penises attached. You want to make sure all
Yeah,
that fun stuff keeps happening, right? So you can
you
feel
sound
comfortable.
you
You can
sound
feel
really
real comfortable, and everybody will be all confused like you.
yeah, you're weird. But to the other guy that said fuck you too, man. Fuck you.
How is the stuff Wani says sound weird and that's exactly what they doing?
Exactly what
Um,
they're doing verbatim. They call
Hey,
it gender. Oh, you know what it is, Indy? They don't say it like that. They say gender affirming care, and it's supposed to be something different, right?
Hey, but y'all hear about Trump shutting down the shadow bans on
I don't know who this is
social
talking, but you
media?
gotta learn how to read the room, young fella. So check
Who
this
me?
out, Mr. Rogers. So you you can apologize to Wani right now, and then we'll kind of forgive you.
I'm not apologizing, so I don't know what you're gonna do.
But she was right and you was wrong.
I'm not apologizing.
Okay, okay. So did you vote for Kamala Harris?
Yo, how many times you gonna ask me that fucking question?
Well, I just
Like,
want you to understand that. Just say, look, listen, right? The answer to this question is yes. We all know it. Wani said the same thing you said. She said you voted for her because you're Democrat. That's the only choice you have, right? Then when asked about said policies, she said, "Well, I don't fuck with none of their policies," but you voted for the Democrat, which makes you a Democrat. So that means Wani was right, and then you had no reason to be all nasty to her. So I think you owe her an apology.
yeah,
That's
I
a
have
decent thing to do.
yeah, I have every right to be nasty to her because she was making assumptions about me that
She
were
was
wrong.
right though.
Do you
How
believe do you believe kids should have gender changing surgeries and stuff like that?
look, man, I don't
No, just answer the question. Instead of saying "look, man," and you sound stupid,
yeah,
just answer the
yeah. You
question,
can't remove yourself from what you voted for. Like you can't.
listen, man. I don't got nothing to say about
bro.
that.
Answer the question. Are you in favor of it? Yes or no? If you're not, that's fine. Just say yes or no.
I don't have any comment on it. I really don't. That's something
How you don't have a comment on it? You got a brain, don't it?
I don't have
Watch
a
this.
comment on it because I
Watch
don't
this.
have
Hey, Lowski. Lowski, do you think kids should have gender affirming care surgery?
Hell no.
Hey, Indy, you think kids should have gender affirming mutilation surgery?
No, and I'm not putting the tampon in my ass out the men's bathroom.
Real
Nope.
Well,
quick. So, Mr.
they
Rogers, do
gonna
you think
shove
children
them
should
up
have
our
mutilating
butts. There's
surgery?
a
Good for you,
record of
son.
that.
who says you gotta do that?
The
What
bathroom, the bathroom is full of bullshit at this point.
I never saw that anyway.
Uh
So,
Okay.
I'm gonna
huh.
ask you this question again, Mr. Rogers. Do you believe children should be mutilated?
I
Then why did you vote for it? You don't
If
like
your
children?
immediate reaction to that question isn't hell no, something's wrong with you.
Yeah, I got a better question. So if I was in the girls' bathroom and you were in there and I had a wig on, would you feel some type of way?
if you look like a man, hell yeah, I'm calling the police.
Why? That's the
Why?
gender they like.
Well,
Why you gonna
Kamala
do
says it's
that?
okay.
That ain't right.
Transphobic.
Yeah, you transphobic. But you voted Democrat. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
you need to get yourself together
I'm gonna
because
tell the other bull dykes. Do you feel this way?
Uh,
do you think
yeah,
do you think illegals should get debit cards? Are you
Yo.
for that?
yeah. You know what?
Are you for illegals getting debit cards with $17,000 on them?
I'm gonna tell the DL fags to watch out for you. You know what I'm saying?
Are
So
you for immigrants, illegal immigrants getting debit cards with $17,000 of my people's money? Are
no,
you for that?
no, I'm not for
Then why
that
did you vote for it?
because I voted. I just wanted to exercise my vote. Either way,
Uh-huh.
For a
Because
Democrat.
you're a deviant.
You could have
Yeah.
wrote in Neon Genius. Why
I'm
you
a
write
I'm
Neon
a
there?
I'm gonna put a wig on and watch you pee.
nah,
You could have wrote Neon
Oh
Jenkins
God.
in.
you can do that if you want. You know what I'm saying? You get some
So
hollow
you're
points.
allowing him to
Yeah.
do it? Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Nah,
I'm
you
gonna dress just
might
like
go out.
Medea, and then I'm gonna watch you pee.
You wouldn't make it out.
Oh
That's
my
all.
God.
You can do
Yeah,
that.
that's wild. Look, check it out, Mr. Rogers. We got a
Now you
MAGA
threaten
hat for
violence
you.
against the transphobic. Now,
It's
now
green.
you even more transphobic. Now you threaten violence.
No,
So now you a violent transphobe. Listen, we got a MAGA hat for you if you want it.
nah, nah. I'm good. I'm good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. I see somebody, Clarice. You had a comment? Let's say Clarice or Clarence. I don't have my glasses on.
It's Clary.
Peace and positive energy and motion to everyone in this space. It's Clarice.
Okay, hey Clarice.
So please put your glasses on. Thank you very much.
Damn.
Anyway,
Don't know where they.
I wanted to
Don't know
Oh,
ask
where
the
they
hold
are.
on, hold on,
lady.
hold.
I wanted to ask the lady, please. Okay, please, can I please speak without being
Oh, she's
interrupted?
rude. Trust me,
Thank
she's very
you.
rude.
What color is your
So
wig, Clarice?
Here we go. She
Clarice
yeah,
disappeared.
she's not.
She ran away. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a very interesting space where I've been speechless for like the last 30 minutes. I kept trying to think of something to say, and I was like, you know what? I don't know what to say. Oh Lord.
Yeah, we gotta have some fun sometimes, yo. That was a
No,
good way
it
to
was
end the space, yo. For real, 'cause it was real
it was
serious and
great.
intense for a minute. You
No,
know what I mean?
Wani is hilarious, man. Wani is funny. She's over there
Wani's the
dying laughing.
best.
Yeah, Wani put that calm voice on and be serious than a motherfucker.
I'm still disappointed the young lady didn't apologize to Wani. That was very rude of her, though. Because
And
Wani
she
is
said, "You're a deviant." That's man. Somebody got to like cut that out or something, bro.
Yeah,
Mr. Rogers, don't take it personally. That's how we get down sometimes over
It's
here.
all jokes. Just jokes.
Yeah.
I've heard worse. So this is nothing really.
So would you come back?
You still haven't apologized yet, though.
Would you come back and join us sometime?
I mean, if I see it on the list, I might, but it's not something I'm gonna be looking for and shit, you know.
No,
Well,
you need
follow
no, you need to
Professor.
check for us because we be dropping. Yo, you need to check for us. Real talk.
I don't know.
Yeah, follow the Professor.
Well,
Follow the Professor.
Y'all some
You
weird.
can't follow Wani yet, but you
yeah.
should follow
Matter,
Professor.
Y'all some weird.
matter of fact, I'm gonna follow you right now. I know you don't want me behind you like that, but I'm gonna follow you though.
Uh,
Y'all some weird Negroes, man.
Pause.
But
now we
Pause.
weird. Okay.
y'all some weird Negroes, man.
I was just
But
about to say that, Andy. I was about to say like we're the weird ones. Wow. Okay.
y'all weird as fuck. Especially
Okay. All
the
right, Mister
lady.
Rogers.
Yeah, well,
Especially who?
All right. All right. Well, I'm about to shut it down. I got an early morning lecture that I'm not prepared for. So I'm going to go to bed. I enjoyed y'all, and we'll pick this junk back up tomorrow. Yeah, I said junk. Um, I enjoyed y'all. That was awesome.
All right, bro.
And any final words, Wani?
Good night.
What is
bye,
Yeah, peace
Didi.
out.